Man, this place is so impressive. I mean, everywhere in Snezhnaya has been so impressive, but even look at the snow, like, creeping down the side of the building here as well, falling on the sides, drooping down on the sides, almost frozen over as well. It's so cool. Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is Genshin Impact, and this is Snezhnaya. Holy hell, man. The music, the setting, everything, it's so incredible. We're gonna go to the theater. Incredible. It's incredible. The buildings are so incredible in this game as well.
So beautiful and peaceful.
You tell him,
I can
Columbina.
have snowball fights with the Kuhenki.
Oh my god, snowball
Shall
fights?
we have one now?
So, is there like specific dialogue for like different areas? Isn't there like for depending on like where they are? So maybe that's a dialogue for Snezhnaya, right?
Ah, you made it. I've got some tickets, and I managed to set something up with the Rokat.
Wow. Okay.
It'll have to wait until after the show, though. Happy to stay and
Yes.
watch? I doubt you've seen the Korolyevsky troupe on stage before.
Oh my god, I'd be so happy to do that. Oh my god, it'd be so exciting. I wanted to see this. Also, a correction from last episode. I probably pinned a comment that corrected me already or like clarified something already. And the fight between the Traveler and Signora, I forgot it was a duel. I forgot it was like a challenge proposed duel. And the thing is, the reason why I forgot is because, guys, I don't rewatch things in Genshin. After I finished to edit them, so I haven't seen that Inazuma moment since 2024. I think it was like June or around June, like I think June 2024. So I haven't seen it, or maybe July 2024. So I haven't seen it since that moment, which is all the more reason why, like, I definitely want to do like a playthrough of Genshin, but like edit it a little bit maybe. I know like it'd be kind of crazy to go through everything in Genshin again, you know what I mean? But like I think it might be fun to go through some stuff just to see things again from a different perspective maybe. Of course, no problem. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see the theater.
Pleasure. Here. This is the way in.
But yeah, thank you for the clarification on the dual stuff there as well. Because I very easily remembered Signora smacking us like in the head while
in
the
accordance
two
with
troops.
theater regulations. Thank you.
Who's this? Another new character? Oh my god, who is that?
Is that guy with the Fatui? Looks like
Who
he's
is
waiting
this?
for something.
He looks hardened. He looks tired. He has really cool hair. This armor, man, look at this. This looks very official, this armor. But again, the reason why you'd say Fatui, right, is why? Because the fur around the coat, like the black fur always feels very Fatui, right? Who is he, man? He reminds me a little bit of like, not like, I think it's one of those things, maybe just because like the hair tint and like the way like his armor is, it reminds me a little bit of Fire Emblem. But I think that like obviously Genshin has its own style, like you can like, you know, you couldn't just be like, that's a Fire Emblem, you know, it has their own style. But there's like hints of Fire Emblem there, right? For me anyway, personally. Which is a compliment for me. I like Fire Emblem for the stuff that I played. He looks really like cool. I love the tired eyes. I wonder what his personality's like. He looks really cool.
Okay, all done. Thank you for your cooperation. Please proceed through to the theater.
I want to know who Tired Eyes McCancer Face is. He's just standing there.
What's up? Everything okay?
I wasn't expecting such strict security here.
Snezhnaya's business and political leaders are always passing through here, so it makes sense that security's tight.
Okay, yeah.
Still, it's a little unusual to see the Fatui's Armory Palace guard here. You saw him, right? The guy right at the back.
Oh, look at the
Strong,
purple.
silent type. His name's Valeri.
Again, I'm just so excited to meet new characters up. But look at the purple on the cape as
He's
well.
part of the Special Assignments Battalion, but I only ever see him here for one thing. To look for a guy named Mitya.
Mitya? Who's that?
Supposedly a researcher, though he never seems to put much time in at the office. The theater is one of his favorite places to hang out when he's playing hooky from work.
Oh, yeah?
But that's not for us to worry about. Let's go. The show's about to start.
Man, I love new characters. I really do. They're going to send me in there because you know what? They knew I was going to right over to, wasn't it Valeri? I already forgot the name, guys.
What do you think? Pretty impressive, huh?
Gorgeous. Like, is that a screen or do you think it's like glass? But it is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. Like the kind of like, again, they use cold blue in such a great way, but they also use like different shades of blue and purple to still keep that cold feel, but it has like such a great contrast and beauty to it as well. And the stage itself is immaculate. Look at this. Like the stage itself looks like it's cleaned while they're on stage. It's like so shiny. Oh my god. Oh my god. And it has depth as well. Very, yeah, I was gonna say very Fontanian seats, right? It reminds me of the Opera Epiclese.
Oh, the one in Fontaine? I hear it's iconic. Never seen it for myself.
This is kind of like, it is, the Opera Epiclese is definitely, when I saw the seats, that's definitely what I got from it as well. Just to clarify on the name, his name is Valeri. Everyone's sitting down in their fancy
Here we
outfits.
are, just in time. Sorry, coming through.
Oh my god, that's such a... Calm down. That's such a... I'm talking about his face, by the way. This is such a universal experience in the theater. Sorry, excuse us.
If you're gonna show up late, keep your mouth shut.
They were saying sorry!
What's his problem? Whatever. No point arguing with people like that.
I love that mentality with the Traveler, right? Which is kind of like, you know, people like that are just going to get angry for the sake of angry.
Look, there she is. That's who I'm introducing you to later.
Another one?
She's the lead singer of the troupe, Vodyanitsa.
Voronitsa. Oh my god, what the hell? Ethereal magic fairy? Who is this? Like, oh, I'm so excited for all the new characters. Voronitsa. She even has like a, like, again, the dress is so flowy and again, magical and kind of like, again, fairy tale like, right? The hair, like, is so cool too. Like, it's such an interesting choice to have, like, you know, one side covering the eye completely, like with the bangs. But it's a really cool tone to the hair as well, and the way it swoops at the end with the purple. She also has like a, which we've seen before, this type of thing where there's kind of like a thing on people. They put like, either have like a pattern on people's legs or like a design, or usually just like some sort of cool, like, you know, color coding on the legs as well. This is a really adorable design. This is fairy tale. She's like, she stepped out of a fairy tale book. Voronitsa. No way. No. Oh. This is so amazing. First of all, gorgeous voice. That's the proper reaction, that guy there, just feeling it, man. And again, look, the Traveler's feeling it too. Oh my god, guys. The voice, the color, the animations. Oh my god, the platform's rising. Oh my god. I'm getting chills myself. This voice is so powerful. This is amazing. Oh my god, the control. Oh my god, and then like this freaking magical like sparkles all around her. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
This leads directly to the green room. They're expecting us. Vodyanitsa will be waiting
No,
for us
that was
there.
stunning. And again, I love those type of things where like they lean into kind of like maybe the artistry of something in a game where they show off like, you know, a performance or an opera. It's like one of my favorite things that you can do in a game. Now, I don't think every game gets it like completely right, but I like that Genshin is like going full into like, you know, the idea of like their cutscene direction, because their cutscene direction like is so crazy. Because like if you go back and look at Mondstadt, it, like they do have like some scenes in Mondstadt, you know, as I, you know, saw in a previous episode, I was skipping through the dialogue to get to a certain part in Mondstadt, and if this is everyone's first time hearing about this, it was very specific reason, because I needed to get to a part that I needed to record. I needed some gameplay. It wasn't that I was like playing the game and just being like, ugh! I've never done that. But like, there's, if you notice, a lot of the story quests had like characters just staring dead. Not even story quests, arc quests had characters just staring dead on at the screen sometime, like as an animation. So like they've gotten better every time, and like even when you look at like Fontaine, it's incredible. And even since Fontaine, they've like updated their animations to be even better and better. Like that was beautiful. It was magical. It like had such a like a chilling quality. I got chills all over, and it's just really stunning to listen to. And the animation made it feel so like, you know, flowy and flowed so well. That was such a cool idea. And here's the thing, not many games do this well. I want to make this clear. Like there are games that have operas in them or have performances in them, and sometimes it doesn't work very well. But here it worked amazingly so. because it's like so part of the culture. It's so part of the world. We heard about these performances already in the terms of like the ballet and stuff like that as well, right? But then you see this grand theater, this amazing location. It's so grand and beautiful and I used the word. It's kind of like, you know, fairy tale-esque, and then it matches so much with Voronista, who looks like a fairy tale character that stepped out of a fairy tale book, and she starts singing, and it's so stunning. What a freaking great way of doing this! So amazing, so amazing. And I have to say as well, whenever I say like oh, this game, other games have done opera too, I mean it like in terms of performance, not just like opera, but also at the same time too, I'm saying that like other games don't do it as well when it comes to like doing a performance. Sometimes listen to the music, man, it's so good. Because they don't lean into it. Where are we going, by the way? Over here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Man, the stage is gigantic. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do a performance like this, if you're going to do something like this, lean into it. Give me some beautiful freaking epic performance. Show me exactly what it feels like to be there, and that's what they just did just then. They had the characters feeling as they closed their eyes. They had us, like, getting chills, of course, who's watching this too. Look at what they're seeing as well. This place is amazing. Like, I just think they did such a fantastic job. That was so cool. Great setting, isn't it? Such a great setting. I'm so excited, man. New characters again.
Hey there. Excuse me.
Can you believe it? I am so mad right now.
Wait.
Come in.
Why is she mad? Again, I didn't expect the voice. I go, no, in a way, like, I kind of, it's interesting because I expected this type of voice, like, kind of like the softer, kind of like, again, kind of fairy-like voice. But then I heard the singing, and I was like, oh, maybe they're going to have a little bit of a deeper voice. But now we're back to this. It's like, okay, so they just have like a really powerful singing vocal in comparison to their, like, you know, very softer, kind of like more, I don't know what you call it. What would you call the type of voice? It's kind of sharp, right? It's a sharp but, like, cute voice.
Oh,
Odette!
it's you two.
I wasn't expecting to see you here.
Huh? You know each other? Oh, wait. Is this who you were telling me about?
Look at the animations!
The one you met yesterday and couldn't stop thinking
She's so
about?
cute! What you couldn't stop thinking about? Couldn't stop thinking about?
I never said that.
The phrasing is the phrasing off, but that's very cute. Couldn't stop thinking about. But then again, like, did you see the animation there where she's like moving around, pointing her finger? Again, that's what I'm talking about. The animation's just so good.
Yes, you did. Why are you denying it? It was right before I went on that rant about the moody factory owner. Oh, I remember it so
So
clearly.
Dad's like, I couldn't stop thinking about them.
Might I ask what brings you two here?
It's very cute.
Oh, I just brought him here to see the show. And when it finished, he was full of praise for Vodionitsa's
I mean, how could you not
performance.
be? It was freaking amazing. Voronista.
So I thought I'd try my luck. See if we could get the chance to chat for a bit. Maybe get an autograph?
Oh,
You work here. You of all people ought to know that's against the rules. It's not what the green room is there for.
man, everyone's just so fabulous, aren't they? Snezhnaya, the land of fabulous. Like, look at her Odette as well.
Oh, what's the big deal? Come on, don't be shy.
Oh my god.
I can give you an autograph. You can take a picture too if you want.
They've really made her into like the way her animations are. She is like very like, you know, forest fairy in a movie, right? That like is moving around doing like kind of the bouncy animations and like, you know, even this head tilt as well, you know?
Do as you please.
Like, I think this has done such a good job. Oh my god, the shoes are gorgeous too.
I finished all my shows for the day. I'll leave you to
Oh,
chat.
that's not happy about the rule breaking, I guess.
I wasn't making that stuff up, you know. Odette's just too proud to
Oh, no,
admit
it's
it.
sweet. It was sweet to hear it as well because we really liked Odette as well. We really did.
She thinks very highly of you. And so do
Oh
I.
wow.
You did the right thing in Svietloladovka.
Oh, the thing that happened with the guy with the bowler hat.
We're good. Odette's out of earshot. I'll lock the door.
What?
Confidentiality, of course. The Rokat is very
So
strict
I
on
wonder
that.
if she's a part of the Rokat.
Whoa, Alosha. Not out loud. Not with an outsider here.
I can't get over how she literally looks like she walked out of a fairy tale. She looks like she walked out of a fairy tale pop-up book.
Relax. I've taken care of it. Look at this.
The president's reply sent this morning. Wait, so he's been approved to join?
Wait, what? The Traveler's been approved to join?
You told me last night that you wanted to get intel from the Rokot. Unfortunately, Rokot intel is only available to members.
So we're joining the Rokot. That's a big jump though.
But ever since you set foot in Snezhnaya, we've been working together. I've seen the way you work, your character, and your motives. Everything about you is perfectly in alignment with what we're trying to achieve in the Rokot. So I figured I might as well cut to the chase.
So isn't this very interesting as well that he obviously very understandably denied to the Fatui member that he was Rokot, right? But he is Rokot.
I wrote a letter to the
Very
president
interesting.
explaining your situation, including just the right amount of detail. His approval came very quickly.
That's so cool. And again, it probably helps that we are the Traveler.
Of course, it's still your decision whether you want to join or not. We'll respect your choice.
So that means you and Vodanista, you're both members. Oh yeah, like it's interesting because like I thought that maybe like he knew people in the Rokot, but like I think it's way more interesting and way more telling of a story if a character like denies they're in the Rokot and then actually is in the Rokot, because that shows like they are like that they have to they still feel like they have to hide it even though they're allowed to be in the Rokot, right? That tells a story already.
Well, assuming Odette was telling the truth and she didn't misjudge you, I guess we don't need to worry about you blowing our cover.
She's so cute.
Still, you
Oh,
gave
the
me
fanning?
a real fright. I didn't know that's why you came looking for
Fanning
me.
her own face.
So, that stuff you said about admiring my performance, was that just because Odette
No.
was here? Did you actually
No, I
mean
meant
it?
every word. I love what you're singing. And again, as Romer, Calvin also knows Romer. Like I actually was getting chills. It was beautiful.
Now you're talking. That's what I like to hear.
Oh my god, is she like some... okay, you guys know I love a self-confident character. You know? A character who fishes for compliments as well. She's sold to me. You guys know, I've said it before. If a character calls himself cute, if a character says, I'm the best, if a character fishes for compliments or tries to be a little bit like, you know, like cute with the whole, like, you know, am I cool? I think it's adorable. Honestly, sold. Sold.
Anyway,
Sold.
let me give you a quick rundown of how things work. Like I said, the Rokot is a covert organization, and we hide our identities. Members typically don't meet in person or even know each other's identities. This helps us maintain a high level of independence and secrecy.
Understandable.
Because of this, members are basically free to decide their methods without constraints, so long as the outcome of any activity doesn't violate the organization's principles.
Isn't that interesting? Like there is kind of like a mandate that is not the same as the Fatui, but it's similar in terms of like you can do what you want as long as it doesn't violate the principles. And that's the same with the but obviously it's different, you know, actions and different you know situations and different like, you know, missions and all that stuff too. It's completely different in terms of that. But like the streets also says, hey, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't mess with me and my organization, you know.
After all, we don't have any ostensible contact with each other. This way, if anything goes wrong, no one else
Very
will
smart.
be implicated.
Very, very smart.
Beyond the freedom to choose how you operate, it's also your choice whether to act at all. We have plenty of members who have yet to take any action.
Man, that leads into the freedom idea then as well. It makes people who are already like trying to fight maybe for like a little bit of like their own voice feel like, you know, there's no pressure whatsoever. It makes them feel like they actually have their own voice, even if they don't want to use their voice. It's like, wow, I'm free to not use my own voice, but still like if I want to, the option's there.
In short, joining the Rokot in and of
So cool.
itself won't place any restrictions on your activity in Snezhnaya.
Hell yeah.
There's a code of conduct you can read if it interests you. But basically, as long as you don't plan on using your anonymity to go around doing evil, you'll be fine.
I don't think you have to worry about that with the Traveler.
I tried reading it 5 or 6 times. Never made it all the way through. Even the most lackluster script makes for more interesting reading.
Oh my god, I love she sees these as a performance-based thing, you know, like talking about scripts and stuff like that too. Yeah, I'm in. Sure. Yeah, I'm totally for that. You want me to join like a rebel group? Let's go.
Great.
No
Then
problem.
I'll go grab an official application form. Be right back.
I hear traditional Irish music in the background whenever someone asks me to join a rebel group in in a game. Since you keep your identity secret, how come you two know each other? Interesting question, right?
Well, Alosha has this pet dog, you see. His name's Tagarin. And this one time, Alosha brought him backstage.
Oh.
Tagarin took quite a liking to me, so I played with him for a little
Very
bit
sweet.
and fed him some treats.
He's very, very sweet.
Then, the Rokot was out on a mission one day. And even though we were all in disguise, Dagaran recognized
Oh
me
my
right away.
god, that's lovely. That's a great way of like explaining why they know each other. Just like like dogs will do that. Dogs can recognize you like through like, you know, and they might take a second to be like, is that? Oh, it is, you know, but dogs will do that.
Just a coincidence, really. We didn't report it to the higher-ups, though, to avoid dealing with the fallout.
Because you're not allowed to really know each other like on a personal basis, I guess.
Like, my job at the theater, for instance.
Ah.
I really need it to make ends meet.
Fair enough. I wonder if like they would probably say, hey, maybe you shouldn't work there anymore because that means there's two people working there that are connected to the Rokad.
By the way, what were you complaining about just before we came in? Did everything go okay with Chuganov?
Chuganov?
Everything did not go okay. That's why I was so mad. I tried to make some small talk with him before I went on stage to fish for intel about the Iskra manufacturing plant. But he wouldn't take the bait. No matter what I said, he kept dodging the question. And then he started complaining. He said he didn't appreciate his second-rate seat in the stalls because he usually gets a private box.
Already I don't like this guy.
I mean, what did he expect? Everyone knows that if you want a box seat, you buy a ticket well in advance.
Oh yeah.
But instead, he sends me a letter the day before the show when we're
Yeah,
practically
you tell him. No,
sold
that's
out.
totally fair, Vanessa. That's totally fair.
I had to juggle things around just to get him a half-decent seat, hoping he would appreciate the gesture enough to share some information. But nope, he didn't give me anything.
No, that's again, it's not fair. It's not fair whatsoever. Like, but look, it sounds like Vornisa was trying to get information, and he was being very high maintenance.
Yeah, meeting Chuganov in person has definitely been a disappointing experience. Oh, you probably don't know who we're talking about, do you? Chuganov was that older guy you were sitting next to today. I'm sure he didn't make a great first impression on you either.
Great writing from Genshin just to have like a very subtle moment that you're like, you thought was just like a funny moment or like a moment that was fair, and it did feel very, very real. It's a real thing that happens in the theaters. You walk by someone, you try to get your seat, someone complains, but it was like it was all used to give us an indication of who this type of guy is. Very cool.
To the citizenry, he's a family man and a kind boss.
Oh God.
But our interactions with him tell a very different story. It's one thing to ask for a favor, but he acts like it's his right. He always expects special treatment.
Which is, you know, right away. Like, obviously, like, it depends. Like, you know, like, as I said, like, I love a high maintenance character who believes they're really beautiful and is like, you know, I demand the fighter. You know, like, but when you're starting to be like really awful to people, that's when like it's, you know, and like you're using it as a way like of using your status to like, you know, make other people's life bad. That's when it's bad, right? Yeah, it's not good. It's not good whatsoever.
Take the ticket situation, for instance. I've actually gotten him a private box in the past.
Look at our animations.
But not only was he not even grateful, now he's acting like I've sold him short this time.
F him. Like, again, even like the way she like wags her finger around as well. Like, I think it's such a like a great character trait because it's like it's almost like she's like, I don't know, it's like dancing with her finger.
Not to mention that he's never paid for a single one of his tickets.
Well, F him then. That is outrageous.
And another thing, if he's such a big family man, why doesn't he bring his wife and daughter to see the show once in a while? I've never seen them here, not even once.
That's a big thing though in politics as well, where like there's a lot of times where like it's like, you know, they have to have this image of being like the pure family man, and that image sometimes does fall apart for a lot of politicians, right? Where like it's like you know, he loves his family, and then they have to make a statement about how they cheated on their wife, you know, with their wife beside him as they're making a statement, you know.
Calm down, Vodyanitsa. If you won't do it the easy way, we'll have to try the hard way.
We're gonna kill him? I'm
But
up for
first
it.
things first. Here's your application form. Go ahead and fill it out.
Do you have a pen? Can I write in your back? There's a table over there. Yeah, but it'd be really cute if like I'd put it on your back. What? What? Oh my God. Jenny, who are these people? Jenny Little Bell, I'm Wonder. This is so fun. We're human, right? Are we? Dodoko? We're a Primogen. My code name in the organization is Wayfarer Chessmiming Seamount Abyss, the 12th, King Jabberfries, Lord of the Seven Calamities. Chess Mimic? Lord of the Seven Calamities, King Jabberfries. I like King Jabberfries. The 12th, Seamount Abyss, Chess Mimic. Is there any other names? I guess we'll go Wayfarer maybe, or the 12th. Seamount Abyss sounds pretty cool. The Chess Mimic, King Jabberfries. I actually think Wayfarer seems like the most basic one, but I think it sounds the coolest, to be honest. I oppose Project Souza. I want two ordinary people. Am I having a stroke? I think the roll call is cool. I'm here to put an end to the organization. I need a part-time job. Mom told me to give it a try. I mean, I know it's basic, but honestly, this would be very funny, but I wonder if they'd stop us from doing this. I think the roll call is cool. Is this good? Is good? Oh no.
Looks like I'll need to make a few little tweaks here and there. But other than that, you're good to go. We'll hold on
That's
to this
the way she
for you.
looked at it. Is it? I wonder if we put all the first answers down, which seemed like the most correct answers. I wonder if she'd be like, "Oh, great," you know?
All right. Now that we're officially Rokat comrades, I can tell you, Chukhanov is the target of our current operation.
By the way, is there supposed to be I know it's not my recording or anything because it's actual game sense. There's supposed to be music in this section because it seems very quiet, doesn't it? Maybe there's not supposed to be music in this section.
Recently, we've done some recon work at the Iskra manufacturing plant, which pretty much confirmed that their energy consumption is way beyond the legal limit. All we need now is some direct evidence to present to the Vetcha, so we can demand that they shut the plant down.
Okay, I'm all for it. So what we have to do is find some evidence that they're okay, yeah, energy consumption. That makes sense, especially in this time.
That way, the Kresny Crystal can be allocated to where it's needed
Hell
most.
yeah. I love this already.
I was hoping he might let slip during one of our chats, but he's too tight-lipped. We'll have to find another way. I'm meeting another regular theater goer tonight.
Mitya. Alosha mentioned that name earlier.
But Valeri's here too, and he's probably looking for Mitya, so he may end up being a no-show.
Don't you worry. He
Her
must
voice
know
is so
how to
cute.
dodge Valeri, or he wouldn't be showing up on time for every performance.
That's true. That is true. If he's able to avoid him that much. But yeah, her voice is adorable.
Mitya is a renowned energy expert. Although we can't get any direct evidence of the excessive energy consumption at the plant, we can accidentally let the information slip to him.
Okay.
The authorities should take someone like him seriously. So if he starts raising questions about energy use at the Iskra manufacturing plant, there will be a proper investigation.
Okay, so let it slip to him.
Also, we're not allowed on site, but he has clearance. So all we need is his cooperation.
So the music just started now, so I don't know if it was supposed to be there for the entire time. Again, it's not the recording this time. This is literally, it's on my, whatever the game is doing. Since he's an energy expert, does that mean he might know the inside story Project Souza?
Yeah, so that's the other thing we're trying to figure out. Though I think we're far less likely to make any progress on that front.
I'd love to find out what Project Souza is.
Still, I hear that Mitya is a bit of a chatterbox. So, who knows? Maybe if we catch him in the right mood, he'll let something slip.
Hopefully.
What do you think? Sound like something worth your time?
Definitely, I'd love to join you.
Okay, in that case, you guys find a seat somewhere nearby. Pretend you're a couple of buddies there to eat, and keep your ears peeled for useful information.
Let's go. We're doing a recon mission.
He's a huge fan, so I doubt he'll have his guard up around me. But you two need to be convincing. If he suspects anything at all, he might stop talking.
Okay, yeah, we can try.
Sure. Don't worry. We'll make a believable pair of
I'm sure
buddies.
management and friendly chit-chat. Oh, we got the laugh.
Perfect! You've sold me already. Now, help me tidy this room up a bit before we
Sure.
head out.
Okay. What needs tidying?
Everything!
Sure, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Helping out some people. Yeah, it's such an interesting conversation there, like, as well, because we got to learn a bit more about, like, obviously the Rokot, and how they have, like, you know, a very, like, free-flowing organization that isn't about, like, you know, control. It wants people to support them, while also having their own freedom to support. I think the reason why... No way, and they're practicing on stage now? That's so cool! How do you do that? How do you do this? Jesus. Do you see what Mary's doing? Look at her. You guys see this? They're probably like, we can do it too. Yeah, but look at this. Look at this. Watch. Can you do that? That's insane. But yeah, like, learning about the Rokot, it is like more of a it's a secret organization. They don't allow people to really, like, I guess, like, fraternize, or like be, not fraternize is the wrong word, but to be around each other, or like to expose each other as like companions in public, I guess, as well, or expose each other's identity. It's supposed to stay secret so people don't have any connection to each other or liabilities. You can choose to act if you want to act, and the reason why that's so important is because it's literally just like a it kind of continues the idea of freedom, right? What a way to sell the idea of freedom in the Rokot, then, by being like, hey, you can choose to join, and then you can choose to sit there on your laurels and not do anything. It does, to me, like, that would sell the idea of the freedom to me. Why? And it's like, and it also, the people that want to do something are the people you want on your side. The people that join because they're upset and then eventually, like, you know, drop out, obviously you don't want them to be, you know, doing stuff they don't want to do. It's the people that have a passion about this, that want to do something, are the ones you want on your side. So I do get that. I think it's a really cool idea to be like, hey, if you don't want to do something right now, don't do something. If you do want to do something, do something. It sells the idea of freedom. It sells the idea of personal autonomy, while also getting people that actually want to support you as well. And right now, we're trying to get some information on this guy who's using maybe too much energy. And then also at the same time too, we're hopefully trying to get some information about Project Stuza at the same time too. But very cool stuff here. I destroyed the door there. Did you see that? The door popped off its hinges. Man, it's... I do think Snezhnaya has... And it says a lot about this place, because I do think daytime in a lot of regions is the best time. I think Fontaine at night looks incredible, but I think Snezhnaya at nighttime is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, we won't... I can walk up here because I don't think there's any world quests here, but unfortunately we won't be able to, like, explore as much as I would like. Because the world quests are, in fact, interrupting the game. They only interrupted me twice so far, and I didn't show it on camera, of course, because I just cut it out. But it has been interrupting me twice. And again, it's one of those things where I said it last time. I'm not going to harp on it. So if you see me kind of like taking direct routes and like not looking around as much, it's just one of those things where like stopping the gameplay literally is going to break. Oh, look how pretty that is as well. Look at that, like the kind of like archway here, and you see like the tower like framed in it as well. It's a really cool thing. But yeah, like, it's not because I don't want to explore. It's not because I'm not like, oh, like, because you guys know me. I would, like, run across this whole place and run across the whole town as I'm doing, and go the long route to get to a place. But, people have said that it's getting very, very egregious when it comes to world quests. So if I'm not, if it seems like I'm not exploring as much, it's not because I don't want to. It's not because I don't want to, like, look around the place and see all these places. It's that, I don't want to have, like, a roadblock every single time, like, I walk down an alleyway, you know? Yeah, so that's what it's gonna be like. So we gotta pretend to be friends with Alosha, which is very easy. You're so cute.
We come here often, so we shouldn't stand out. Let's sit here. Now, it's up to Vodyanitsa. Let's see how the conversation goes.
It's so cool seeing, like, a Rokot, like, recon mission. Man, is this another named character? What the hell? We're seeing so many designed characters.
Mr. Mitya, over here.
This is so cool. This is such a great way. They set up this world so perfectly, this act. Oh, look at the little run.
Sorry, I got a little held up on my way here. Now we have even less time than we planned.
Oh my god, the sparkly purple looks amazing with the fainted, like, pale purple of the hair. And, like, the little, like, atom symbol on his chest, I guess, when it comes to, like, energy, I suppose, and stuff like that as well. I wonder what his vision is, because it's definitely a vision user, right? The hair is fabulous. It's a little bit wild as well, right? But still very, like, stylish, you know? What, man? Like, they just try to kill me with cuteness in Snezhnaya, right? if has full-time job as an energy resource manager, why is his cheeks gonna get squeezed? I'm just asking questions. I think we gotta ask the important questions here, you know?
Go ahead and order some snacks and drinks.
Man,
Whatever you
everyone's so
like.
fabulous.
Let me see. According to my schedule, we still have 25 minutes left.
Oh my god, he has a schedule as well. It's so cute. This dude with like a full-time job, and I'm like, oh, that's adorable. It's like, yeah, I get paid a full salary. A full salary. Wow. Because he's adorable already. You know, I'm actually one of the highest paid people in all of Snezhnaya. Whoa. He paid in jelly beans. I don't mean to demean his job. It's just like this dude shows up and he's like, everyone's either the most fabulous character you've ever seen, the most like adorable like fairy tale ethereal character you've ever seen, or like just the most like cutest person in the world. Like there's like it's just Snezhnaya is. I thought it was gonna be a cold and maybe like in some places like a little bit harsh area. Man, no. Every character is just either fabulous or cute. Like there's no in between right now.
You're really pressed for time today, huh? I was imagining this would be a leisurely chat. If you'd prefer, we can always reschedule for another afternoon when you have more time.
And I want to make it clear as well, I think everyone has different levels of cuteness and everyone has different personalities and different vibes, right? Alosha's cuteness is very he's very tough and he has a tough voice. And he has this kind of like shaggy hair, but like he has this like very like, you know, like, I don't know, puffy kind of like it's not an insult, like a kind of a puffier kind of face and stuff, and he like makes it really, really adorable. But I think what's so adorable about this character I just met, Mitsuya, is like this little run he does as he comes in. He has this wild hair, like this kind of like, you know, again, this full stylized outfit that looks a little bit too big for him as well. I don't know, it's just, everyone has different levels of cuteness, and I also think every character has like obviously a vastly different personality so far as well. So I'm not saying every character is the same, I'm just saying everyone has a level of fabulousness or cuteness in this game so far.
No need. Getting to meet the lead singer is a very precious opportunity for me. I'm not about to pass it up. I've already had to decline your invitation several times because our schedules rarely align.
What is
If I
that?
don't grab this chance while it's here, who knows when the next one will come around?
Mitsuya, what is that? What is that? This is a fabulously designed character. That's the word of Snezhnaya, fabulous. I love the hair so much. Wild but stylish.
Wow, it's very kind of you to make time just for me.
Yeah, what's going on with the scarf? I can't get over the atoms on the outfit, man.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Snezhnaya is full of weird and wonderful things like that.
Yeah.
So people tend not to bat an eye. I'm sure the same will go for the Eye of Grey and Paimon.
That'll make getting around easier. Isn't that great though? Because we did see that there's so many different like races of different races around here. There's different creatures. There's different technology. There's all these different like, you know, styles of people. There's so many different outfits, and everyone has their own style while still keeping like kind of a uniform like touch to things as well when it comes to outfits. Like, so there is still like a cultural thing there as well. It makes sense. Like, that's such a cool thing that this is kind of like, you know, people won't be as shocked because it's like, hey, we're all a bit different here, you know? We're all a bit unique.
The reason I invited you out for tea and a chat today was to get some feedback from a true fan of the theater.
Well, I genuinely have nothing bad to say. No matter how many times I hear you sing, it never gets old. It always seems fresh and new somehow.
This side profile is sharp, by the way. Sharp side profile.
Maybe it's because the more times I listen, the more details I notice. Or maybe you simply improve with every performance, delivering it better each time.
Oh my god, he's so sweet. He's so sweet.
Thank you! I'm delighted to hear that. Could you give me any specific examples?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love the
That,
cut-in.
The piece you sang today, for example. Beneath the frozen river?
Oh wait, the scarf is stopping him from saying this?
Hey, what's with you? I'm just praising a good performance.
He's whispering to his scarf. What is happening, man? I want to know so much about this. Every character, you just want to know so much more. You want to see more. I would be so happy if they're all on screen every second of the game. Like, they're so interesting.
I always used to find that such a bleak and lonely song. But the more you listen, the more you realize that it's not as cold and nihilistic as it appears. When you really dig down into it, there's a certain level where you're surprised by the emergence of hope.
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to pick up on that. Actually, I only tried out that angle after talking with a composer.
Okay.
Still, Beneath the Frozen River wasn't on today's program.
Hmm?
Oh, really? But it's a classic. You sing it every time.
So he just guessed that it was on it, I guess. Man, the design is so clean, and even like the hands, like now I'm noticing like the way that his shoulder. What do they call those things that go around the shoulders? Has hands too.
Almost every time.
Oh, well then. Let me say a few words about that other all-time
Oh my god, this
Flying in
scarf
the
doing it as
Wind
well.
from the Mountain Sparrow.
This is such a great design. Oh my god. Oh my god. Snezhnaya.
I didn't sing that one today either. My voice wasn't quite up to it, so I switched it out at the
Do you
last
think she
minute.
did all this on purpose though? Like not singing certain songs that maybe were very popular?
Oh, but
Oh no, leave. It's okay, Michia. You leave him alone. Look at him. What is he supposed to do? He just a baby with a full-time job. What's he supposed to do?
Sorry, Mr. Mitya, but you were at the theater today, yes?
Oh my god, and she's adorable too. What am I supposed to do? Right? I want to stop her pressuring, but then also I also want to like she's like in the battle of cuteness, there is no winner. Maybe us.
of course I was. Remember? I said hello to all the troop members before the show started. You, Odette, and the others.
The traveler's not making it obvious whatsoever. Don't look. I'm not looking.
So, what did Odette sing today?
Oh man.
Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose, of course.
Is that a good song?
Correct. I see. I see.
So we got that one right.
You find my singing boring, don't you? That's why you don't remember a single
Juanita.
song. Looks like I'll need to cut a few from the program next time.
No, he's gonna be so upset by this, I can tell.
No, that's not it. I swear.
Man, the animations are so good. Him like extending over the table here.
All right. I'll be straight with you.
That scarf.
I'm sorry. My mind was wandering as you took the stage today.
The wag of the finger. I'm sorry. No, guys, this is so inspired. It's such an inspired design. Such a creative choice. Everyone's so different and so vastly weird and wonderful in this place. I thought that was a vision, an Earth vision, but no, it's I don't think he has a vision. I haven't seen a vision yet.
I enjoy watching your shows because the exquisite performances stimulate the mind. It always sparks some inspiration for my research. So, whenever I get stuck at work, I come to the theater for a change of pace.
That's really fun. Again, this avoidant type of character is very, very fun.
Odette's dance during the elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose today was simply incredible. It got me wondering what she's been going through recently.
Like the emotions?
That look of sheer defiance in the face of utter tragedy? It was so inspiring. I started scribbling in my notebook right away.
He does have the scientist vibe with the wild hair, doesn't he?
Not that I made a ton of progress in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it was productive. By the time I snapped out of it, the entire show had finished.
Oh.
So what you're saying is, you didn't listen to my singing at all?
Oh no, you walked into this again.
Unfortunately not. I'm sorry. I don't know which is more disrespectful. The fact that I don't always come for the show itself, or the fact that I missed your performance.
Did you hear some, Alosha?
Seems like things are getting a little awkward.
You look nervous. What's up?
Mitya just stepped into a conversational minefield. If there's one thing Vodyanitsa doesn't like, it's people who show disrespect for her performance.
Yeah, it sounds like this is like hard to navigate.
This meeting was so hard to set up. Don't tell me it's already falling apart.
She got upset about. Again, I think it's quite. Again, so funny, such an adorable trait, right? That she's getting lost in the idea of like, you know, my performance.
It's fine. I suppose this is affirming in its own way.
Okay.
At least, it shows that our performance really touches people's
She's
hearts,
clenching the
right?
fist. She's like, I can't say what I want to say. Guys, this design is cool. It's so fun. It's such a fun design.
Don't let it bother you. It certainly doesn't bother me.
She's trying so hard to hold it in.
She's showing a lot of restraint.
Must be tough.
Well, I'll be sure to let Odette know how much you adored her performance.
She's like talking to her teeth as well.
Please don't say that. I always love your performances too. It's just that inspiration struck at the wrong time today. I'm usually all ears.
I know. I can tell. That's why I value your
She's really doing a
opinion.
great recovery here, especially like again that is a character trait. She values she does, and again I think it's a cute trait. I think it's an adorable trait. The idea of like she kind of fishes for like compliments, and if she doesn't get those compliments, clearly she's like oh, you didn't like mine. You know, it's very like, you know, it's a funny trait, right? But I also admire the fact that like she definitely is trying her best to go against her usual like instincts to like get back on track here.
I'm sure some people can't stand it when others praise their coworkers right to their face, but not me. No, sir.
That can be difficult though, right? Especially if you're in a competitive field. I can imagine that can be very difficult. The idea of like, oh, like, this guy's amazing. And you're like, yeah, especially if you like worked as hard as that person, that could probably be very frustrating.
Fair enough. I still feel kind of bad, though.
The thumbs up.
But you know what I really can't stand? People who only show up to the theater to pretend that they're cultured. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, 100%. There are too many of those people around. By the time they're walking out the door, they've forgotten all about the show. What's wrong? You look furious.
Oh my god, he's so nervous. Like, you can almost see him, like if you take the layer or the front layer off this game, you can literally see him dancing on eggshells, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know if you've heard about the boss of the Iskra manufacturing plant. He isn't even a theater investor, but he always demands the same privileges as actual investors. Box tickets only, premium drinks, even the right to request specific songs.
Well played, Vodyanitsa. Seems like she's harnessing her rage to steer the conversation back on track.
I think it's a really good tactic, right? To already set it up so that he is on the defensive, like, no, I love your stuff. So he already feels like he's walking on eggshells around her, which again, you can argue that it's like manipulative or whatever in some ways, but I think she was genuinely serious at first, then realized you can use it for a conversation. But like, it is like, she's basically like got him in a place where, in my view, where he's already apologetic and he's already worried about like what she thinks. So now she's starting to talk about someone else, which again was a really natural way of getting to the conversation of like, this is what actually annoys me, not you. This is what actually annoys me.
Now that you mention it, I've interacted with that guy before. I gotta say, everyone holds him up as an example of a benevolent businessman, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Oh, you don't like him?
Yeah, he couldn't care less about what's happening on stage. He's just there to flaunt his social status. I hate that I have to prepare programs for guys like that. What's the big deal with that factory he runs anyway? I asked around a bit and heard some pretty shocking stories. Sounds like he's just another greedy capitalist.
Oh, wow. Comrade Voynista.
Oh, really?
Yep, the things people are saying are pretty damning. Low wages, insanely long working hours, equipment running around the clock. And as if that's not bad enough, he also strictly forbids his employees from giving any kind of interview.
So what's interesting about this as well is that like this is like, people can make jokes about like, oh, like, talking about capitalism and like, her, calling out capitalism, but this is like a genuinely a bad thing about like capitalism, right? Exploitation of the working class, and here she's talking about as well. And the way she slipped in here as well, which I think is really, really good, is like she's talking about the idea of low wages, which is very bad. She's talking about the long working hours, bad. She's talking about employees not having their own autonomy, bad. But then she slips in equipment running around the clock, and that's the important part.
Project Stuja has now been extended so many times. We're at the point where crystal rations for the common folk are barely enough to survive on. Yet he even wants to get his greedy hands on them just to boost his own profits. If the rumors are true, he's in serious violation of the law.
She's very smart for slipping it all in because it seems very natural.
Interesting. So you've heard about it too?
Oh, you've already heard about it.
What? So it's really true?
Who knows? I've only heard the same rumors you have. But there's no smoke without fire.
Usually.
The Rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of Crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
The Rooster? I didn't realize he cared that much.
Really natural voice acting from Mitya's voice actor as well, by the way. Just very casual. So if you listen to it, this here as well.
The Rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of Crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
Like, there's kind of like a very trusting and natural vibe to his voice, right? There's a vibe of like, he's not saying this like out of any manipulation, or like he's not saying this like in a kind of a very like angered way. It's just very natural, like, and he's just talking about this like very naturally. It's a very natural voice acting performance in my view.
Yeah. Even though there are no restrictions on Crystal trading, The poor will wind up freezing to death if we let the rich buy as much as they want. That's clearly unfair. Looks like we'll need to arrange an investigation into the Iskra manufacturing plant as soon as possible.
Yeah, it seems like that's the way. Seems
I
like
never knew you kept up with current affairs beyond the theater, Miss Vodyanica. You really have a heart for the common person. Most Fae in your position have long been indifferent to the plight of humans.
So she is a Fae. That would make sense why she looked like she stepped out of a fairy tale book, because like a lot of Faes do feel that way, right? They do, like, you know, even like Flynn's feels that way, you know?
Well, those of us who choose to live in human cities are naturally going to pay attention to any significant upheaval. Isn't the rooster a Fae himself?
Oh, really? I never I just thought he was like maybe like a little guy.
I'm just surprised to learn that even someone with as much experience as him is getting so stressed out over Project Snezhnaya. What is the end goal of this project anyway?
Does Mitya know about this?
This is it. We're finally going
I don't know if
there.
we're gonna get much out of this though, right? Like we're gonna find out from Mitya?
I'm sure Mitya can sense on some level that she's fishing for information.
Yeah.
But since their conversation is so relaxed, he might just
That's
let
what I mean. Yeah,
something slip.
his voice acting is very relaxed, and it feels like the way Mitya is talking is very relaxed as well. But yeah, that's a good point to make for us as well, that he's not dumb, right? Yes, he was put back into a corner by Vonista, but it's also important to let the user know, like, he's not dumb. He's not gonna be dumb. He has his position because he's not dumb.
It's stressing me out too. If I'd only made better progress with my research, things wouldn't have dragged on this long.
So you are part of the reason why it's dragging on so long?
Oh, so your work is related to Project Snezhnaya?
His research at the very least, right? Yeah.
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. Not the power of the Light Realm and not elemental energy.
Whoa.
Right now, the only thing that meets the requirements is the power contained within stellar linchpins.
Whoa. Wait.
But harnessing that power is costly. Each step of the process requires enormous amounts of Kresnik crystal, from extraction to quantification to attempts at conversion.
Stellar linchpins. So, like, if you remember, this is what they were talking about during the Sandrone quest. So harnessing the power is that what Project Snezhnaya is doing right now? Harnessing the power of the linchpins.
Progress has been painfully slow, and the team is getting burned out as time goes by. Sometimes I see people staring into space as if in a trance.
Man, so we have a little bit more insight into maybe the actions during Project Snezhnaya, which is they're not using light rail energy or elemental energy to, and what was the phrase they used here, to the Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. And that's what requires all the Kresnik Crystallis to harness the power of the stellar linchpins.
Could it be that this new energy source has
Interesting.
side effects?
So interesting.
No, it doesn't affect us, because the energy is used for...
Oh. Oh no.
Okay, I got it. Stop choking me.
What the?
Sorry, I can't talk about that.
So his own scarf is keeping him from saying anything? I mean, it's a very crazy visual.
I think we're all just exhausted. We've been working ourselves to the bone for so long with so little progress to show for it. It's no wonder people are struggling to stay motivated.
That makes sense if something drags on for very long. So he's not going to reveal exactly this part of it, which is what the energy is, what the stellar linchpin energy is fully used for. But they said it earlier that it's like they need a new energy source. Maybe they're saying that I think what they're saying is that, it's not saying maybe the Army Palace needs it directly, but they're saying that whatever Project Snezhnaya is needs the power of the stellar linchpins, and they can't use light rail energy, elemental energy, and what they're using the energy for is a secret completely. But we do know they're using stellar linchpins.
Seems like I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have gotten so mad at you for not paying attention during the show.
Don't worry about it. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I don't envy the people who work closely with the Tsaritsa herself. I'd much rather be in my current position. At least I don't have to shoulder any major responsibilities.
So they're trying to develop a completely new kind of energy.
It's a shame we didn't get to hear more. Yeah, they're trying to harness the power of stellar linchpins to create a new energy. That's what we're getting, right? That's I keep having to look over it again, but Yeah. The only thing that meets the requirements are when stellar linchmen. So they're using the power of stellar linchmen to create a new energy. It's a shame we didn't get to hear more.
Yeah, censored by a scarf. Who would have thought?
Yeah, what is that scarf? I wonder. I want to know. Is it like technological? Is it living?
Oh, dear. It looks like my time is up. I'm afraid I have to leave. I'm so sorry. We ended up barely talking about the theater.
But she got exactly, well, not exactly what she wanted. She got part of what she wanted.
That's okay. It was a pleasure chatting with you, really.
Let's make up for it next time. Yeah, hopefully once the work pressure eases up a little, I'll be able to focus more on the performance, and then we'll have more to discuss.
And he runs again.
We touched on some confidential issues today. I'd be grateful if you could keep it between us.
Look at the wild hair at the back too as well. Man, it's such a great, interesting character trait to have him run everywhere, you know? He's jogging into everything.
Worse.
Yeah, no, I think you did good. I think you did really well. We found some good information there.
Nice job. Why was Mitya in such a hurry to leave?
Yeah,
though?
he's jogging everywhere, man. he's jogging everywhere. Oh, is that why? The guy who's looking for him,
Sorry,
right?
routine inspection.
Routine inspection. Is that Valerie? He has an imposing feeling to him, right? Again, his head, those tired eyes, that kind of very serious look to him.
Okay, let's go.
That was a quick inspection. Look at that. It's like a bear on his armor. That's so sick.
So he wasn't rushing to get back to work. He must have calculated that Valeri would find him here in exactly 25 minutes. That's frighteningly accurate.
Yeah, and it also adds to the idea of like the fact that he has all the science stuff around him, right? Like he's like, he must be like, you know, a scientist, and like he'd be able to like, you know, calculate this stuff very well. That's really cool.
One of the main duties of the Special Assignments Battalion is to ensure that important figures stick to their schedules.
Sounds like Mitya has an arch enemy then. He's so cute.
All right, time for us to get going too. Excuse me, check please.
We'll settle our check too then.
Oh, hello there. Mr. Mitya paid the check before
No
leaving.
way. Oh my god.
He also asked me to pass on a message. He said it was an honor to share his tea break with Miss Vodyanitsa and her two friends.
That was very quick. He's very efficient.
Wait.
So he knew we were here all along?
Oh yeah.
This raises a lot of questions.
Oh
Did he
no.
deliberately mention the new energy source so that we'd overhear it?
Oh man, I didn't even think of that because when I was like, oh yeah, thanks for that. Then I was like, wait, yeah, he knew we were here. Oh my god. So yeah, not only is he, because again, the game told us like he's not dumb, right? Not only that though, this kind of like very natural speak he was doing adds a new layer to his character. Because I was like, oh, he's very natural. He's walking on eggshells, all this stuff as well. He was very hyper aware of something that was happening there, right? Which means that his character is a lot more crafty than we think, right? And I think that's, again, it adds a layer to a character. We thought he was just like, you know, very like, you know, sweet and very natural with like, you know, with a lot of intelligence and stuff like that as well. But he intentionally had all that, like, obviously, like, planned, even probably maybe the choking of the scarf.
Maybe his work isn't confidential after all. Maybe the key here is the purpose of this new energy. I guess that's the next thing to look into.
Man, legitimately like a crazy like turn of events as well in the end, right? Because he's like, then his natural way of speaking shows that he's like very calm, cool, and collected in these situations as well. Yeah.
Vodyanitsa and Alosha have left. Time to head back and call it a day.
Sure. So yeah, like that's it. Return to your room and sort out the intel. Are we in? Oh, you're in the place where we had a room. Yes, we can go back and see Paimon as well. But yeah, man, that sets a whole new layer to his character, right? Because like again, like it's already, he was already an interesting character of like, oh, this character is kind of like very like, you know, he has very natural language or like natural way of speaking. He seems very sweet. He's very smart. But like also he seems like he's walking on eggshells there as well. Even like the walking on eggshells thing, that could have been like a thing where like, you know, he didn't want to upset her, but at the same time too, he might be like, you know, understanding like, oh, she's trying to do something here. It just adds another layer to his character. It makes the whole idea so interesting. Like, what is he thinking? Like, you know, in between that. Very, very interesting stuff, honestly. And getting to see Paimon again is going to be great.
You're back! You're pretty early today.
It's so weird not traveling around with Paimon because, like, again, Paimon's usually, like, you know, like, for many years, she was our communicator. Like, you look back on all those quests, like, and you'll see she was, you know, being our communicator. How are you feeling?
Paimon was just gonna mention that. After she woke up today, Paimon felt like her temperature was completely back to normal.
Okay.
But her strength still hasn't returned.
Okay, so so I'm starting to, like, get less worried because at first I kept getting, like, a little bit worried at the start, obviously, as well. But, like, you know, obviously a cold is normal or flu is normal. But, like, the fact that it is getting better, at least in some ways, but the strength, again, your strength takes a bit to come back even after being sick, right?
Still, there's some good news. Paimon thinks she might have figured out the source of the problem.
Yeah?
It's like there's some kind of mysterious power affecting Paimon.
So it is more than the flu.
Before during any of her travels.
And then obviously at the start, like, the gesture, like, acting as if Paimon should know him.
She only started feeling this way since we arrived in Snezhnaya.
That's very worrying. Some kind of mysterious power, you say?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source.
Wait, is it the energy source we're working on here is affecting Paimon? But how would it affect Paimon and only Paimon?
Could that have something to do with this?
Possibly.
What is it? You're making that face again.
Yeah.
You know, the one you get whenever you have a light bulb moment?
So it's possible that the energy that's being found here is being used, that's being used here and being tried to create here is affecting Paimon in some way. But why just Paimon? Let me tell you what I found out today. Why just Paimon? You know?
So, they're trying to develop a new energy source here? And you think that might be why Paimon's feeling unwell?
Yeah, I think so. That's so, it adds again another layer of mystery to Paimon and this whole situation.
Well, Mija denied that the energy they're researching has any side effects. Although, he did say that people working on the project have been having issues with their concentration and short-term memory.
That seems like a side effect. But, like, he said not, but, like, I think the fact that it's affecting Paimon the most is what's so interesting, right? Because you have to, like, wonder, like, why her specifically? Why her specifically?
And even so, those are completely different symptoms from Paimon.
This power you mentioned, can you sense where it's coming from?
It's pretty faint, so it's kind of hard to tell. But, if anything, it seems like it's coming from roughly the same direction as the Armory Palace.
All the more reason to find out the purpose of the research.
Sure, Paimon's with you there. But how, though? The Rokat only has a limited amount of intel.
There's still one avenue we haven't explored, the Snezhnaya Veshe.
Oh, great point. They argue about Project Stuja every day. If we could sit in on one of their sessions, we might pick up some new leads.
Okay, I need to write the letter to Alosha. Would that mean we get to see Mr. Pringle finally?
Good idea.
In the flesh.
Oh yeah. While you were out, Paimon tried all the yummiest looking desserts in the Potvoria restaurant. This one seemed right up your alley. So, Paimon saved some for you. Come try it once you finish writing your letter.
That looks amazing. It was on the table earlier. It looks really nice. Thank you so much, Paimon. Thank you so much. In fact, Paimon is definitely missing us. We're missing Paimon. Look at the little baby. I'm sorry. Look at this. That's not fair. But yeah, like, Paimon's saving treats for us. Obviously, she would save treats for us. But, like, yeah, it's so worrying. It's so worrying to think about what this could entail. We're worried about Paimon, of course, as well, and that's the main thing. Like, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, you know, it could sound selfish, but, like, you know, whatever this power is doing, like, you know, Paimon's on my mind first if it comes to her getting affected. Obviously, then, that's not me saying I don't want to save the people or help the people of Snezhnaya. Of course, you guys know I do, but, like, obviously, Paimon's first on my list in terms of my mind. I don't care if people even thinks that, like, that sounds selfish. That's just how I feel. Like, Paimon is our best friend. It's our, you know, we adore her. We love her. And that's what, again, is scary, is like, why is this affecting her? Why her of all people? Oh, look at the pop-up.
replied. He says that we won't be able to speak at the Vetcha. but he can arrange for us to attend as visitors.
That'd be great. That'd be really great.
Time to get ready. Then head to the Snezhnaya Vecha.
Hell yeah.
You're back! Paimon's been working on the crossword puzzle in the newspaper. It's actually pretty fun.
Oh, she's doing crossword puzzles.
Oh, shoot! Paimon forgot the next word. Oh, she had it a moment ago. Think, Paimon, think.
You got this, Paimon. Oh, she's doing crossword puzzles while we're away. Huh? Huh? Oh, there it is. Okay, interesting. It stopped me moving for a second. Which... Interesting, because I lost the audio last time. Like, it makes me, like, extra paranoid that we might lose, so I might check it out to see if we lost anything. Again, I don't think we did, but you know, like, I think it's good to have this paranoia of, like, did it stop recording? I don't think it did, but I gotta check. I'm super excited about this as well. Because again, I think one of the things about, like, all of the characters here in this game, right? I think one of the coolest things about all of... Wait. Oh, no, that's where we're going. I was like, because it was like, you know, Vonista's like over there, and I was like, wait, why are we going? Why is our named character over there? This is where we're going. Is this the Veshe, right? I'm super excited for this. Mr. Pringle's been built up for a while. I think all of the two Harbingers have been, and seeing Mr. Pringle after all this time is going to be like a huge deal. Like, it's a huge deal. I feel like it's one of the characters we've seen in animations, but I don't think we've seen him in the flesh yet. We've seen like silhouettes of him and stuff like that as well, but it is Vodnista.
Miss Vodnitsa, prima donna of the Koralevsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session of the Vecha?
Just the way it's the same thing with Tsaritsa is Tsaritsa, right? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not taking interviews today. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get inside.
Please wait, Miss Vodnitsa. Could you introduce me to your new friend?
What's happening? It's interesting that they chose to show this character. Is she gonna come back up later? You know? Shortly after you take your seat, the meeting of the Snezhnaya Veshe officially begins. Discussion on whether to extend Project Souza are saved until the end. As the rooster Pulsanilla shares various energy-related statistics, the dull, lifeless room suddenly becomes very animated. Oh my god, we're gonna get to see the government buildings. I cannot wait to see this. No way, look at this. It is...
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik Crystal show clear signs of stabilizing.
It's such a perfect, like, and again, now that he's a Fae, it kind of makes sense. Like, I guess his design was always so like out there and so different from like humans. I always thought he was just a human, but he's such a like, and I mean this is a compliment. Like in terms of like a contrast for so many years, he was such a cartoonish design compared to the characters. But him being a Fae actually like ground. I didn't no problem him having a cartoonish design, but they grounded his design here now by revealing he's a Fae and putting him here within this world. And it making like, you know, it didn't need to make sense why he like looked a little bit different from other characters. It didn't need to. I was just thought he was like an interesting like design character. It's like, no, he's a Fae. Man, this has been a long time coming. Such a long time coming. We've heard about him for years. I'm sorry, I completely was going crazy. So he's talking about the idea of the energy consumption crystal becoming stabilized as well. Man, Mr. Pringle.
The relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period.
Oh.
For detailed statistics, I would refer you to the industry reports that have been distributed to all persons present.
I love the voice acting as well. The kind of voice like this. It's so perfect for his design too. So he's talking about like Crystal right now, and he's talking about how like basically like we can keep going the same way we are now until the next period and talk about it again then as well. Because obviously he's trying to keep the best interest in Tsaritsa going forward as well. But obviously people can be very interested in this too. The building itself, the reason I looked at the building and thought it was so great, the actual hall they're in, it looks exactly like as a government building would in many places. I think in like, it reminds me a lot of actually like for example, like say the Dáil, which is the government buildings in Ireland where the people debate, the politicians debate, or like certain places like that as well. I don't know if like Congress has the same thing. It might look very similar, and I think it's just similar in a lot of places because the way that it's done is a great way to see everyone's faces and have everyone speak up, even though it's not always productive.
It should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have
Love
led
all the
to a
different
significant increase in
races.
people's energy expenses, this is strictly a short-term phenomenon associated with a remotely located monster.
The monster that the Tsaritsa is out fighting.
Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her full attention to this matter.
Oh, look at him walk.
We should have every confidence that it will be dealt with swiftly and conclusively.
Again, even though I know he's grounded in reality now too, I still like that he is like very like a cartoon character in a way. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that he has like the twirly mustache and the voice and stuff like this too. There is, by the way, you can see the three harbingers down there as well: Sandrone, Tartaglia, and Dottori's Boif.
A financial report on disaster relief is also present in this report.
Oh my god.
Courtesy of Pantalone.
Why does it keep getting nosier in here? Noisier in here?
They cover the same old ground every single time. The rooster never seems to mind, but everyone else is getting tired of it.
So it appears to be like a thing that this is when people are getting the most like agitated, I guess, as well. And by the way, this is a very common thing. I don't know if it's the same thing in every single country, but like in Ireland, for example, you can visit the local government buildings and stand up in the bleachers. Not the bleachers, there's like a booth with like a glass screen, and you can sit there and watch the proceedings as they're happening as well.
There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly. Of course, none of that will be reflected in any of the reports on the table.
And that's what they was talking about as well, and that's what even Odette was talking about earlier, which is like the idea that, like, you know, if we knew where this was going and knew where the benefits were, it would make it a lot easier, but no one's seeing any benefits like right now for them in this moment, which is what is important to a lot of people.
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up.
I mean, Das, why are you still here? Yeah, they're focusing on this girl a lot.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the Kvass. Ever read it? Best-selling newspaper in town.
If I remember correctly, you guys don't even have a sales permit. You have to sell from stalls on the street.
So they got a sales permit? So what exactly are they selling? Bring out the Kvass. So it is a newspaper. Oh, no, sorry. It's not that they're selling the news. I'm so silly. I was like, what are they selling? They're newspaper. No, they're selling the newspaper. I'm sorry, guys. Everyone has a moment. We're always going to look silly sometimes, you know?
Okay, then. Best-selling street stall newspaper in town.
What are you drinking?
Still counts.
It looks like it might be water, but, you know.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss, we will then proceed to a vote on this motion.
This is such a great look, guys. This is so awesome. The fact that we're getting getting to see the actual government proceedings here as well. This is the type of stuff that I'm so interested in as well. I love the political going-ons of a nation and the social implications that it hits from that as well. Like the stuff with Ningguang, for example, in Liyue. That I always loved that. I love the paperwork of that. I love the way that people like organize their jobs there and like their trade there, you know. I always adored that. I adored like the hierarchy of like how the Knights of Avonius worked versus the Adventurers Guild. You know, I always loved that stuff. It's always so fun.
Snezhnaya has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably.
So true. So correct.
But recent surveys shows that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnograd. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
And there's him fighting because, again, he comes from a place that has less crystal, and like there needs to, again, I love the word, it needs to be clear rationale, because that's even what Odette said. If we understood stuff more, it'd be easier.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say
What do you
again,
think you are?
true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, fairness is relative.
Okay, come on then. As soon as he said fairness is relative, I'm like, okay, buddy, come on then. Go on, say what you got to say. Go on.
You appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your equation?
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a happy Christmas, Brigader. But like, still, he's thinking about the people that don't have like fuel.
And do you even know how long it's been since Snezhnaya last conducted a census?
Then do it.
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by child.
You tell him. That's so true.
I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised.
Yeah.
Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
I love this, because again, this is political stuff here. What Brigader tried to do here was like try to do a workaround here to make Child seem like he wasn't very smart about certain things that he was talking about, trying to talk about like the production side of things, the money side of things, which is the thing that is, when you have to have money to like do production and create stuff as well. But he's talking about like what ifs here, like what if something breaks down? Like that's a necessary purchase that has to take place if you break something or something breaks down. But the fact is, like, the remains, like, the whole thing of, like, as fairness is relative. That's not fair. This isn't fair. 15% less crystal for the average citizen in family Snezhnaya is not fair. It's just not fair. Like, it's by definition not fair, right? And I know what Brigader's saying is fairness is relative because, like, oh, maybe we need more fuel for this and that and this and that. But again, from the perspective of, like, a civilian and, like, from the perspective of many people, even myself as well, it's like, well, still, like, that's not the civilian's fault. They didn't ask for this,
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuzha cohort.
Are you going to... But you have a point to make. That's the thing. Instead of just, like, being... Because I'm sure you do have a point. You're not a stupid person whatsoever, right? We know you're not,
Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think.
Where's your point? Like, Child is making some really good points with statistics, with an actual, like, some information here, talking about, like, the actual, like, reality of the situation. What is your point?
But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuzha continues or not.
What do you mean?
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
Tartaglia is angry about this as well.
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solutions.
Child opened by speaking up for the armed forces.
What?
Brigader struck back with style and a war of words ensued.
Again, I do think that, like, Patloni is like a perfect politician because he's very good at, like, taking whatever, like, because again, these are real issues that Tartaglia is bringing up here as well. But he's kind of like, I think, brushing them aside with some very, like, intricate words as well. I have no doubt that this stuff costs a lot of money. I have no doubt that, like, this is going to cost a hell of an amount of money. But again, as I said, like, you have to support your civilians, especially when they didn't choose the life of limited resources, and it is a choice of the Fatui. If a choice made by Fatui means that the civilians have less resources, then factually it is more fair on the Fatui than it is the civilians.
Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded.
I kind of think she's hilarious.
Support.
Yeah.
The people have spoken.
100%.
Child received raucous applause from the crowd as he pushed Brigader onto his back foot with a relentless barrage of questions. It had to be seen to be believed.
And I also have to say, like, for me, like, whenever I'm like, again, I think she's hilarious. Whenever I say, like, oh, like, Brigader's not dumb. I know you guys know he's not dumb either, but, like, I think that, like, sometimes, like, online, there can be a perception if you criticize someone's, like, intelligent rebuttal, or their rebuttal that they feel is intelligent, that, like, you're saying that you don't think that they're, the other rebuttals might be worth anything. I don't like Brigader as a personality. You guys know I have an aversion to them. Like, anyone who works with Dottore, like, in that way, I'm not a fan of, right? But of course he's smart. He's a really smart guy. He's really intelligent. But also at the same time too, he clearly has, like, more interests in the Fatuian mind and the money side of things and the monetary side of things. Whereas, there's a very real reality of people suffering in this world.
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
She's kind of hilarious, though. She's kind of funny.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank when we first met in Liyue. So surely their relationship can't always have been this strained.
So it seems that what's interesting is that, like, he used to be representative of the Northland Bank, and I wonder if after what happened with the captain, did he become more distant from the Northland Bank?
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on what the data is saying.
So true. Me just saying so true to the characters I like. No. You guys know I will always, like, give my opinion on it, but I'm also going to support the characters I love as well.
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak on your behalf?
You may not.
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia also
We can use the word
seeks.
fair, because reasonable can be twisted so harshly.
But I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely a framework for resource distribution.
Right, so you're saying that you're saying that the Streets isn't using a mass amount of resources and causing a bit of a shortage.
The most recent reports all point to Snezhnaya's resilience and adaptability during this period of fine-tuning, and give clear indications that a distribution framework is improving with each iteration.
Right, but I think you're framing this in an interesting way, right? Because again, as I said, like there is problems with the shortages. There is like an allocation of resources as well. But I feel like he's framing this in a way that's kind of like, because I know there probably is like they're trying to find more resources because there probably is like an energy shortage in general, maybe. But like we've already been told that like the Tsaritsa is using resources.
To make drastic adjustments without first considering the risks would likely do more harm than good. It would be a waste of the hard-won experience we've gained to date.
See, that's the issue though as well. Is like again, there's no clear defined ending. There's no clear defined like like where we're gonna end up in the goal. They're not describing what Project Stuja is. So it's much harder to get behind this when it's like, hey, we've come so far. Why if we stop now? It's like, well, we don't know what you're doing fully. You know what I mean? We don't know what you're doing.
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words.
I think she's hilarious, though. Come on. Yeah, so he's saying that he thinks that the Rokot have been misleading people about the information that's happening here. He's saying that there is a resilience and adaptability and fine-tuning. Distribution framework is improving at each iteration. See, that's the thing is, these words can be, to me, again, very political. It's like what's improving by how much percentage, right? Because we've seen that there is a shortage. We've seen that people are having a hard time buying their items. There's people who are hoarding things. There's people who can't afford all the fuel as well. So it's one of those things where like you could say, if I say like, if I'm in a hospital and someone's like sick on the table and it's like, how well is he doing? Oh, there's a 2% improvement today. And that could just be that they've like their temperature's gone down a little bit by 2%, right? An improvement has to be like, I want to know what like tangible improvement is. How many more people have resources? How many people have like, are better off compared to like last period, right? Because I think that you can say these words and it can sound great, right? But like, I'd love to know like the actual percentages of how much has gotten better.
With the notorious Lelex still active to this day, should the Rokot be held responsible? No, there is someone else to blame.
The Lelek? Where did you get Rokot from? Who's the Lelek?
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no responsibility for their actions. As for Lilic, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Well, more like infamous. Ending Project Stuja has become an obsession for him. Unlike the more decent ones among us, he believes that votes in the Vetcha are all that matter.
So... Wait, so... Are they saying that he's not like the best of them, I guess? Yeah, like more like infamous. All he cares about is the votes in the Veshe. Because she's comparing him to a decent one among them, makes it sound like he's not a decent one amongst them.
So whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery, he'll use whatever means necessary to get people to change their votes.
And that's the thing, there's more to the Rokot than I thought. I think it's a very important thing to note that like not everyone in a rebel organization will always be like good. Not everyone always has the best interests in mind. Everyone has their own like way of doing things, and sometimes it can be like more of a detriment. Sometimes it can be very like sometimes it can be horrid. Sometimes it can be really great. And it's one of those things as well that like, I'm not trying to sit here and say that like, is there an end that justifies the means in terms of coercion and bribery when it comes to getting people more resources and making sure that people have more of a comfortable life? Maybe. But again, we need to know more information about the actions, I suppose, as well.
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelek's methods? Are you for or against?
There's more, I'm going to say there's more to the story. We'll see.
Whatever the story is, his actions benefit us all. We stand with Lelek.
And that's the thing. It's like if, there's plenty of times where people say literally in rebellions, for example. I know it's not the same as a rebellion, but like to kill people to get what they need, and history then looks upon them as more favorable, and again, that's the thing. It's there's people who fought for my freedom to be Irish, who have killed people, and it's one of those things where it's are we going to look back and be man, those actions were horrible? It's no, I'm going to say man, I am free. Just the same as way if everyone got more resources and everyone was much happier and more comfortable, would they be man, he used coercion and bribery? They'd probably be oh, dude got us our comfort back.
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data, right?
I want more data. I want to see more data for sure.
I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not present.
Miss Vesna. And the Druzhna.
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuzha. However, given the Druzhna's demanding workload, I'm afraid it may prove difficult for them to provide any practical support.
Sounds like everyone's finding things difficult, it seems.
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan is in place.
My apologies, Lord Rooster.
There are numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and reporting lines. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised as a new motion for all parties to evaluate at the appropriate time.
So what would this new motion entail exactly? Is this what we're talking about here as well? The idea of let the Fatui handle it. Since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments, we may as well let them collect some data. So to get more regional data, that's what we're doing. Is that what the motion is? I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading everything here as well. So to make drastic adjustments, we have to look at the risks. So what Arapov is saying that hey, we are seeing resilience. So if we have to make big changes, we have to understand what the risks would be. Would it do more harm than good? And then Chad's we need more regional data. Let the Fatui kind of discover what this is and study that. And that's what it is. And then the possibility then of handing it over from to the Druzhna to study this as well. I think that's what the motion is all about. Okay.
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
Interesting. I love this political stuff. I love everyone giving their insight here. Even though it's one of those things we're not going to fully agree on everything, as I said before. It's really great to have this setting. I think the political setting is so good in this game.
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Svietlolaidovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation, the energy consumption statistics also yield a lot of insights.
Okay, stuff on energy consumption as well.
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky solution.
What do you mean?
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to fool me.
The riskiness of using local data on this as well. And again, I'm going to keep reading over this because this is going to get like probably like a lot more complicated in some ways too, right? It's like, so Sharova said, like, in that case, I'd like to share the thought before the proposal draft the issue of time sensitivity raised just now, which I presume relates to official reports. In fact, the energy consumption already collects regular statistics on each urban center. So they're saying that, like, using the reports from urban centers, it needs to be cross-examined with the Northland Bank information so it's not seen as, like, biased, I guess, as well.
Very well, then. It
Look at him, he's
appears
such a cool
that this
design.
arrangement is acceptable to all parties.
He's so cool.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cool is not cool isn't cool, but cool as in a design, you know?
The members reached a provisional consensus on the issue of improving treatment for Fatui soldiers.
You tired? You notice the reporters jot down a few words before suddenly crossing everything out and starting a fresh paragraph?
Today, the prima donna of the Korai-Lievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnaya Vecha in the company of a dashing young man. The question on all our minds is, what is the true
so I think what's
nature of
happening here is
their
because the information
relationship?
wasn't that juicy and it was just about statistics and finding out new information of regional data and local data, finding out about like the energy consumption and the risks involved in changing the plan so drastically here with Project Zuza. She's like, boring. Okay, what about a relationship story? Tabloid stuff.
Write anything like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe. Got it?
There you go. The main discussion covers everything from energy to healthcare, technology, and industry. All parties take opportunity to express their stance on Project Zuza. And yeah, 100%, like, I think that, like, no matter what, I hope it, like, it comes across this thing as well. But, like, I love these political discussion things because, like, I think that's, like, what I love, not just political discussions in games, but I love, like, the reflection of, like, how real life does it. It's the same thing in Honkai Star Rail. Whenever they do political or faction stuff or social stuff or things like that, I always love it because, like, they do get it right as well. And I think what they did really well here is they had, like, you know, a lot of tension here. They had the kind of, like, very, like, you know, Pantaloni was 100% being snarky and very mean, but that happens in these places too. There's insults thrown at each other. There's, like, snarky comments thrown at each other. That happens in our local government as well. So it actually does fit a lot at the same time too. But you get to hear everyone's perspective. And again, even as I said, like, I don't like Pantaloni, right? I'm just going to say it straight out. I don't like him as a person. I don't. But it's one of those situations where that doesn't mean I don't think he's really smart. And it doesn't mean I think that he, like, has an awareness of finances. And has, like, again, even though we don't see it as, like, the morally most justified thing, he 100% does have, like, financials in his mindset, which is why he's probably, like, very, like, respected by people, like, say, like, or used by people like the Rooster and the Jester, is because, like, you know, if you need someone to, like, balance a few books, he's probably gonna be someone who, like, understands money than, like, a lot of other people, right? Of course. But obviously I stand by what I felt like when it comes to Tartagula's points, and I do think Tartagula made a great perspective and gave percentages, and then also gave some information on the idea of, like, you know, hey, there's already people doing these studies around here to see if, like, the regional data is, like, you know, changing. Yeah, it's all, like, really cool to see. It's really cool to see what they've done here too. And also I want to say as well, like, you know, because I said I didn't like Pantaloni, like, I have to say this, like, a few times, and I'm not gonna obviously, like, it's just the way the rules are with this playthrough always. And you will probably get, like, a response, but it will usually just be, like, this kind of one-line response. Whenever I say I don't like a certain character, I usually get a comment of, like, well, what about this character? Like, do you like what this character did bad and all this stuff too? And what I would say to you always is this, is that I just don't answer those questions anymore. So if you are thinking of asking that question, you will just get a one-line answer of, like, I don't answer those questions anymore, because usually it, like, I'm just saying, some people are really well-meaning about it. Some people are really well-meaning about it because they want to understand something. But because, like, there's also, like, a vast, like, you know, thing where, like, it's happened quite a few times where it's like, people aren't gonna be satisfied with the answer. No matter what answer I give, it's like, they'll just be like, you know, they'll see me as being biased. Which, you know, I have characters I love, of course I do. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that now for the whole entire playthrough, the whole entire Snezhnaya, I don't answer the questions of, like, well, what about this character? Because I have a whole playthrough that I've explained over and over again, my feelings in every character, and I have called up people who I love who have done bad things as well in the past too. It's happened, you know. You ignore Miranova as she carries on writing her sensationalist report, but after a while you start to feel that reading the news from her might actually be more interesting than being here in person.
Now then, if there
She's
are no
sensationalizing
further
it.
contributions from those present, we shall proceed to the final vote.
Hey, check it out!
That's Chuganov.
What made him vote against? Why now?
So what vote? So what was it passed?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Stuzha total 61%, securing
Wait, so
a clear
they were voting
majority.
on not just like these new, I thought they were voting on the new information, but I guess they're voting on the actual, like they're going to continue Project Stuzha, but I thought they were voting on like the research they want to do with Project Stuzha and the regional changes and things like this as well. And I might actually just like, so we can have it here. I might actually screenshot absolutely everything here as well, because I want to like make sure we're reading over like all the points as well, so we get everything. Yeah, so the voting. So again, they voted on Project Stuzha. Oh, I didn't mean for a game clip. I meant for a screenshot. Yeah. I thought they were voting on that, but it seems they're voting on like, yeah, are they keeping Project Stuzha going whatsoever? I want to have all this when we do this too.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again. Chuganov
Yeah,
is a
he's
huge
against
loss.
it now. He's against it.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond.
But it's not so crazy that like that's the voting system here in Snezhnaya is like they're genuinely going to like, you know, they're talking about earlier that if it gets lower than this, they're going to start like doing a bit of strong arming. Like it's not an actual vote. It's a provisional vote that like as soon as it goes lower than it needs to in terms of support for Project Stuzha, which by the way, 40% is still a crazy percentage of people not wanting this anymore. Like it's almost like a fake vote because they're going to try and like then use their own tactics to get, you know, it back up and running. So it's just almost like a formality in some ways to them.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek
So they're saying, so everyone's saying Lelek's done this. We really need to meet Lelek.
Yes, go Lelek. Once Project Stuzha is defeated, our unwavering support at Bring Out the Kvass will finally pay off when we make our comeback. I can taste our victory already.
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Stuzha will remain in effect until the next Vecha period. Finally, may I remind us all...
What's the reminder about now, Mr. Pringle?
We debate only for the greater glory and solidarity of our nation. May the aurora shine ever on, and the tundra always stand firm.
Because that's the thing as well. Like, I understand that, like, you know, they have the Tartaglia believes that the best interest is Project Stuzha, right, in the long run. So is Sandrone. But still, if the people decide that, like, and there's a vote in the government buildings here that there shouldn't be a Project Stuzha anymore, and it wins, right? The fact that, like, they've admitted that they're going to try and prevent that from happening in a very, like, strong arm type of way, using political finagling and all this stuff as well, it is kind of like... It just feels like a formality, right? It doesn't even feel like... yes, it's a great way to show that there is less support for Project Stuzha than there was before. It's getting lower and lower. But also, it just, like... It kind of feels kind of like... You know... It's like a ticking time bomb of when they're going to do something to, like, maybe reverse the vote in their favor back to Project Stuzha, you know?
The session is concluded.
Really interesting game part there as well, guys. And I know, like, it's one of those things where, like, you know... Oh, the chairs even are so cool as well. Do you see the way they differentiate the chairs between audience and officials? Really cool, huh? Just a really simple thing. Really simple thing. I was falling through the ground there for a second as well. But yeah, like, I do think it's... Are we going outside? Talk to Voynista. Yeah, like, I do think it's just like one of the most interesting scenes, and I love those type of things. I know, like, for a lot of people, political stuff isn't, like, the most interesting thing, but even, like, you know, like, I love getting, you know, frustrated with Pantalone. I love supporting Tartaglia. I love hearing out, like, you know, even the opinions. But I want to make clear, in real life, I'm not someone who's, like, you know, if someone does it, because, like, to me, like, politics isn't, like, a game. You know, it's not. I think a lot of people would feel that way, too. But I'm saying, like, in terms of a video game, it's fun to see, like, people debating this stuff and you know, going against each other. And obviously, like, it's one of those situations in real life. I'm not gonna be like, wow, what a fun debate where you were debating with me about should people get resources. I'm gonna be like, F you, go away. I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't care if you think poor people shouldn't get resources. They should. Like, you know, that's the way I would look at it. But, like, I think in terms of video game, it's just so fun. It's so fun.
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chuganov to vote against Project Stuzha.
Why? What's so strange about that?
Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's business and political elites ought to be the ones least likely to oppose it.
That does make sense. Yeah. And that's real-world examples as well.
As we heard, Project Stuzha is basically just a resource distribution framework that requires everyone to cut back during the winter. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. The extra demand from the public would have
so
to be
interesting,
filled from
isn't it?
somewhere. So
Like-
logically, the factories would have to take the hit.
Project Suza is as I said, like, it reallocates the resources, right? So it's like Project Suza isn't what the Tsaritsa's doing. It's something else entirely. But that means like that's even worse to me then, right? That means like no matter what, the Tsaritsa is using those resources, no matter what vote there is. Even if you stop Project Suza, the vote will her taking of the resources and uses of the resources will be used anyway, and then the factories are going to take a hit. There's other places that are taking a hit. It's like it's actually not in any way, shape, or form like a democratic process in any way, shape, or form. Because I think like learning that it's actually just a redistribution method, it's like that's not how people have been describing it. It feels right. Project Suza was like this mystery of what the Tsaritsa is doing, but even if Project Suza is stopped, the Tsaritsa is still going to take her resources. So like I think that's worse. That's worse to me. The fact that no matter what, she's going to take the resources.
I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excessive energy consumption at the Iskra manufacturing plant. In a situation like this, once the Rooster receives the report, he'll order the factory to halt production and submit to an investigation before issuing a penalty.
Okay.
But that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Vetcha agenda this time. I don't think he suspects anything so far.
Got it. So for him, it's a choice between reducing production and stopping entirely.
Exactly. And as you know, he's a very selfish person. I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. My plan was to convince him that the whole thing was completely unfair. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end Project Stuja. At least that way, no one else would be able to make any money either, because all the factories would suddenly have more limited energy.
So he's
to
voting
work
against it because
with.
the factories would take a hit then as well. So then there's no competition like ruining his competition while everyone gets back up and running. Boom. Yeah, I'm super interested to see what this like, because again, if Project Suza is actually just like a way to like reallocate resources, then we have to like reframe our conversation. We have to not ask like what is Project Suza, we have to ask what is the Tsaritsa planning with Project Suza or behind Project Suza then, right? It's so interesting that everything's kind of like changed in our view of what Project Suza is. I feel like the way people have talked about it though made it sound like it was, you know, no one ever said it was like, I feel like you could have said it was a project reallocation, right? But then again, I think that we framed the question to Snezhnaya and Tartaglia as like, we want to know what the Tsaritsa is doing, right? So they can't say that.
But now, he's already voted against it. Which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Just like with everyone else who flipped.
So they think he's gotten involved again with coercion?
Yeah. No one knows why Lilac is so obsessed with ending Project Stuja. But by the looks of it, he's inching closer and closer to success.
It feels like, I mean, maybe I'm just like, I was not reading into it as much as I should have, but it feels like I feel a bit like misled by a lot of people we talked to about Project Suza because now like it feels like it's like, oh, it's just a reallocation method, which again, I knew that was part of it, the Project Suza was like a reallocation, but I thought it was more than just reallocation. I thought it was like the whole plan. I thought that was the plan to do with the Tsaritsa. I thought that's what she was, planning to do with all the resources as well, but it's like completely different. And maybe it's just because the way that the conversations went, we never got to fully talk about that. But it's like, ending Project Stuza seemed like a really understandable viewpoint, and now it seems like it's less understandable because it's more of a reallocation. But then again, like, factories getting hit is way better than people getting hit, right? But then again, that's probably people's jobs as well being got to. I don't know. It's a change.
Lelik must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Maybe he knows the full truth.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, I'm glad we're still saying this then, okay? The full truth. Because right now it's being framed as something that like completely was different from what we thought, which was like the idea of just a reallocation method. Which again, it still can be strenuous on people and it still has a right to be stopped. I want to say that as well. But again, there has to be something more to it if he wants to stop this as well. And like, all of a sudden we can't just, we can't shift the idea that there's something else to this, right? And I think it's good that we're talking about this.
Maybe my next step should be to focus on
him.
All right. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Shall we head out?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
Look at our man. Look at him.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
It's really great to see you guys, though, and it's really cool to see you guys at your job.
Greetings, Harbingers.
Greetings, Harbingers.
I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I mean, the Traveler, like randomly, if you blinked, he probably has a new friend beside him, you know what I mean?
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg and all that. Thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha, did you? Things are never that simple with you, Traveler.
Definitely not.
There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles. Tell me I'm wrong.
I learned an interesting tidbit today, some guy named Lelik.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir.
I want to find out his true identity. Is it okay if I start taking around? That's really cool and polite that we're asking their permission for this as well, like, to not mess things up.
Huh? You want to look into Lelik? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered.
That makes sense.
What do you think,
yeah, when we start getting involved, that means it's main story time, he's not breaking the fourth wall, but it sounds like he is in a way, in our eyes. It's like, yeah, when the Traveler gets involved, you're about to be done.
Fine by me, I guess. If the Traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be doing Pulcinella a favor.
It's very weird to think of it that way, though, as well, isn't it? That we'd be doing the Rooster a favor. Not the Rooster, sorry. It is a Rooster, isn't it? Yeah.
In return, it seems fair to let him in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring, after all.
Everything he says is so funny.
Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the records than go through the rigmarole of getting the Traveler a visitor's permit.
As you command, child, sir.
Okay.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting anyway, I'll have someone brew a pot of black tea.
I mean, anytime we get to spend with these characters is always great,
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him.
Is that not the cutest thing ever?
Clearly, he must have threatened them in some way.
I know he's talking about threats and stuff as well, but Tartaglia with a cup of tea, I don't know why it's so cute.
His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his identity.
That is scary, though, and that's a message, right? If you were to break into someone's house, someone's workplace, that means you're very aware of who they are. You're not aware of them. That is very scary.
So all these files have to offer are short statements by the people affected. They don't give us a lot to go on.
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter-surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. The victims are high-ranking and influential people who take their personal security very seriously.
And that makes sense. He would go after high-ranking people, right?
Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitnesses, nor the slightest trace of a break-in.
Jesus, he's very good at this then, isn't he?
If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's ever happened so far. but the thought is enough to scare these
yes,
people.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's like the fact that he can do that so easily.
It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time. So they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Unfortunately, no one's found anything yet.
Right, because they're saying it's so magical that they've switched to Faye. Okay, are you saying even you couldn't pull it off?
Careful. Don't underestimate me. Although, truth be told, I'd probably find it hard not to blow my cover. Direct confrontation is
yes,
more
100%. We know this. We saw you in Fontaine.
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelek being human. It's just, there can only be a handful of people in all of Teyvat who'd fit the profile. Faye, on the other hand, plenty would have the ability, but few would have the motive.
That's such an interesting way to put it as well. It's like, yeah, like there's only a few humans that could actually do what they Sorry, guys. There's only a few people that actually could do what he could do, and there's only like a lot of Fae could do it, but they don't actually have the motivation to do it. Okay, that's so interesting to hear as well. So it's someone as strong as Tartaglia and even more meticulous.
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with a little weaker than me.
Skirk? We're saying Skirk is weaker than Tartaglia?
Oh, you hit me right where it hurts. I'll admit, he's strong and meticulous. But can we at least limit this to candidates who have something to do with Snezhnaya?
I love that Tartaglia's genuinely upset that we mentioned, like, Nouvelette. You know, we probably should have mentioned Skirk. I thought we were going to mention both of them. I wonder what he would have said about Skirk. Oh, please let me know, guys. Oh, that's upsetting. Because I thought usually we mention both of them sometimes. But, like, yeah, that's my bad.
He's just trying to find a reference point. Stop getting fixated on who's stronger than
You know,
who.
it's genuinely so cute. It's genuinely so cute that he does that, you know? That's the first thing he thought of when we said his name.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
No, you're so true. All right, let's take it down a notch or two. No, take it up a notch. Turn it up. How about Odette as a reference point? Odette. Interesting.
Odette? Yeah, that seems about right. Her skills are solid, and she's always calm
That is, yeah, I never thought of that. I never thought Odette would be an option here.
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah,
right.
Much more accurate than your previous.
But she's also expressed to us that she is 100. She's not fully behind Stuza, right?
No, wait a moment. Maybe we should interrogate that assumption.
What do you mean? Which assumption?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it, the Rokot would be precisely what she needs to conceal her identity.
Yeah, no, I'm all for her concealing her identity. I don't want to, like, just catch her out and, like, sell her out to the rooster. That's not what I would like to do, but, like, and personally anyway. But, like, she has expressed that she is not fully behind Stuza. That's all I know.
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui will be and when. So she could choose the perfect time.
She also got those delicate ballet moves.
Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Why is this starting to sound like such a convincing
I love Tartaglia's voice actor so much. He plays kind of like blissful craziness so well. Like, even in this tone here, it's like, oh, it sounds so convincing. You know? He always has this, like, very tunnel-visioned, crazy mind to him and crazy tone to him. I love it so much.
Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying to call off Project Stuja?
She's buying people resources all the time.
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best.
Arlecchino?
Unfortunately, she isn't back
Right.
yet.
I would love to see her too. I know we saw her back like recently, but I'd love to see her again.
Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with Odette. As I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline was.
I mean, yeah, Arlecchino, like, has the trust of the House of the Hearth people, like, by a mile, you know? And not just, like, Linny and Lynette and all those characters, like, so many, like, little babies are in that group as well.
She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose there were at least no lifelong regrets left behind. Beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But I do know that Odette definitely has a motive to hold a grudge against Project Snezhnaya.
And what's that motive?
The reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the
that
project.
Would do it. That would definitely do it.
That was back before it had been named Project Snezhnaya, when things were still being worked out. But in essence, it's remained the same ever
That would do it.
since.
Yeah, family stuff as well.
Huh. The more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to
See, that's the thing. I you didn't even know about this. It's interesting that Tartaglia sees it, because I do think he has tunnel vision sometimes when it comes to that stuff too. Even though he has, like, I think, like a better emotional intelligence that people give him credit for, right? We've seen that Rosaline had a care for people. It's just that she didn't know how to show it very well all the time, you know?
Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close. We had tea together a few times, but that was about it.
Odette's past is no secret. Her father was a Fatus, and her mother was a
Was that
very
her
famous
practicing
ballerina.
originally?
On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But the truth is quite a different story. After her father passed away on a mission, her mother was overcome with grief. She broke her leg during a performance and could never dance again.
Wait. That's what happened to Odette?
Odette was only interested in ballet at the time, but this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. They could barely make
No,
ends
her
meet.
mother, I guess. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Because I was like, after her father passed away, her mother was overcome grief. She broke her leg. Yeah, they're saying her mother. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Per Capitano's policy, family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriately accommodated and provided with adequate assistance.
He was always looking out for his troops, wasn't he?
So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the end, the solution they agreed upon was to have Odette
That's
join
crazy,
the
isn't that the solution? Yeah, you can work for us, you know? I mean, it is technically money, but like a crazy solution.
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. In that sense, joining up was definitely the better option. Still, she must have had mixed feelings about it, right? If she doesn't even like the Fatui.
Yep, 100%. It's being forced into to work for the Fatui.
It's just a theory, a possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lelik, it holds up. That said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now, or what her conflict with Rosaline was about. Plenty of people were on bad terms with Rosaline. I have no intention of trying to figure it all out.
So Zenora actually wanted to mend a relationship with Odette?
Yes, but there's not much point in discussing that now.
Yeah, back to Lelik. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying a new angle. Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal. Unfortunately, thanks to this Lelik situation, I'll be stuck working overtime again.
Can someone cover you? Because that sounds so sweet.
Which means you can go
Oh,
in
yeah?
my place. No point wasting
way.
the ticket. Plus, you'll get to meet Tonya.
We're actually gonna meet Tonya. What's the rehearsal for?
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family
Amazing.
for generations, though it hasn't been performed in years. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage. Excitement is through the roof. Tickets for the official performance sold out long ago.
This is so nice. Again, I know like it's like we're doing a big investigation, but like I feel like meeting Tonya is gonna be a big moment, right? Like it's gonna be huge as well. I wonder what she's gonna be like. But yeah, this connection to Odette's family is very, very interesting. I think it also has like a very like emotional weight to it. A very sad, you know, kind of like, you know, you can see where there would be like a seeking of revenge or a bitterness against the Fatui. you can expect why, like, seeing her as a possibility of being Lelek could be a possibility as well. If she is like so against the Fatui and Project Stuza, but she's been working from the inside as well. Again, she's someone who apparently, by the words here, like was basically almost like forced to work for the Fatui, almost like brought in as something that wasn't even fully her choice. So it does like make sense in a lot of ways too. It'd be a very interesting choice for a unruly rebel to be someone like Odette, who is, I think, elegant and sweet, but she's very strong. She's very powerful and she's very strong. That's the thing as well.
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really my kind of thing, but since she's my little sister, I had to figure something out.
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. The lead character follows a trail of clues left behind by a spirit, gradually recovering her memories along the way. It's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, at least by today's standards.
Okay, that sounds pretty. Sounds really pretty.
But when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance, it always gets me. It really is.
Oh, that's awesome to hear that from Snezhnaya as well. For her to open up about something that she believes is beautiful is a really nice treat.
Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to perform this piece, but I'm not sure she's really ready.
In that case, I think that even if she is Lelek, we should wait until her performance is over before we respond.
Yeah, I want to see this. I would love to see this as well.
I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
Man, that was awesome, right? That was really awesome. And again, like, I think the way they're using the motivations here for Odette as well, like, makes perfect sense. Like, Odette being a character that, like, could possibly be a Lelek, right? Because Lelek as a character, like, already is someone they've talked about who's coercive, who by any means necessary will stop Project Stuza. That's the thing, by any means necessary. And you need someone who is bitter about this. You need someone who is, like, so motivated by, like, something that is, like, so, that's burning inside of them. You need that. And someone whose father died on Project Stuza, and then mother was injured and she had to take up the mantle of, like, making money, it seems, for the family. So she was, like, kind of like, thrown into the Fatui. And someone who is, like, well respected by people, someone who's very loved, someone who's very, like, soft and elegant, but also very strong and powerful. Someone you wouldn't suspect, like, right away, right, as well. Like, it does fit that bill a lot really well too. It's also a thing that's, like, I know, like, there's an idea of, like, it's stopping Lelek and stuff like this as well, but it's like, do we have to come to the terms with the idea then that if we do, like, expose Lelek and the rooster stops Lelek, then we have picked a side, right? Or at least we've helped one side factually, so we've helped the Fatui side. If it comes to that, if we come to the idea of exposing Odette, right? And that's something we do have to come to terms with. Because again, I want to make it always clear as well. Like, I always say this too: the Traveler is a good person. He just is. He just is a good person. I never, like, really adhere to the idea of him not being a good person. But we've also talked about at great length constantly about how he's changed over time. I'm not someone who sits here and pretends he's a bad person, or, like, thinking that calling someone a good person a bad person is nuance in terms of storytelling. It's not. I see it all the time where it's like, this good person's bad. It's like, is this nuance? No, it's just calling someone bad, without, giving them a full shake. But it's also one of those things where, like, nobody's perfect, and we're gonna have to see exactly where this goes. I hope, like, because I think that would, to me, that is, like, if we expose Odette as the Lek, and that means there is yes, we're stopping coercion and stuff as well, of course, but then that also is factually helping out the Fatui and the Rooster side, right? It just is, right? There's no other way of looking at it. So let's sit back in here. I wonder if we're going to talk to Paimon again as well. And Odette's been very good to us as well, right? Odette has been very good to us also. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where everything goes. Wrong button again. As I said, like, I sometimes, like, I'll be playing Clair Obscure and I'll press the wrong run button. I'm playing this and I'll play the Clair Obscure run button, It's very funny because they're back and forth, like, they're both the right and trigger and right bumper.
Sounds like you
was like swapped around.
Progress today. It's good that everything's going so smoothly. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from Odette.
Mm-hmm. It could be easier said than done, even if she's the one she wouldn't necessarily admit it.
Either way, Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person.
Not at all. Not at all.
Sure, she might have done some pretty extreme things,
Yes.
but Paimon bet she has her reasons.
And that's the thing, though. Like if we can't sit here and pretend that the Fatui haven't done their own strong-armed, crazy things as well. Like we can't. Like the idea that we're gonna sit here and like have the Fatui on a whole judge Lelek, I don't think that's fair, right? It's like I've seen the Fatui as an organization, and people say, well, that's separate things, they do their own things. 100%. But we can talk about Fatui as a blanket statement, right? Sure. But like also we can say that like, you know, we know Pantalone has done horrid things. We saw him in Sumeru, right? We know they've told us that the Rooster does his own political finagling and strong arming. We've heard this as well. We know that we've seen Fatui members go to torture people. They kidnapped Jet one time to torture her, right? And do experiments on her. Like, we know about the delusions and the attacking of Venti and us as well. We've been knocked out by Fatui Harbingers and beaten up and, you know, all this stuff as well. Like, the idea that, like, you know, I know, again, I want to make clear, like, I love Tartaglia, I love Sandrone, I love Columbina, I love Vaughn. You know what I mean? I love the Harbingers that I love so dearly. But that doesn't mean we can't also look at it and say, like, it's a bit, like, ironic to have, like, Fatui Harbinger, the Fatui to ever, like, judge, you know, fully. And again, I know it's Tartaglia and Sandrone, it's like, well, what about them? It's like, yeah, it's like one of those things where, like, you know, could you say Sandrone's actions in with the whole facility in Nod Karai wasn't the most perfect thing in the world as well? You know, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's like as a whole, as an organization, which is what's happening of the Fatui judging Elec, it's like on an individual level, maybe. On a whole organization level, I don't know, you know?
Maybe this is going too far, but like, with everything she's managed to do so far, wouldn't it make more sense in theory to be even more, you know, heavy-handed? Why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways to keep people in line, right? The point is, she could have gone further, but she didn't.
She definitely could kill these people. But again, I think it's about, like, you know, to me it's scarier to like to me, like, someone coming in and beating you up is obviously horrifying, right? In your home or your workplace, Jesus Christ, that'd be horrifying. But like you're gonna have like a crazy amount of trauma as well by someone leaving like a note on your table, like describing like, you know, maybe like, you know, what you do in a day and like saying like, hey, don't do this and don't do that. Terrifying as well, right?
So, if it is her, she's got some principles at least.
I mean, I do believe she does have principles. I think if it is her, she's bitter, she's angry, and I want to believe in her too, 110%. You know what I mean? Like 100%. I'm not here to like freaking condemning Odette, not even nearly.
Yeah. Well, all you can do is follow the facts wherever they lead.
How are you feeling today?
No change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Paimon feels like she can sense it more clearly now.
Yeah?
Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there with you so we could experience it all together.
I would love for you to be with us, Paimon. I would love for you to be with us.
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry. We'll get to the bottom of this.
100%, and we hope we can still 100% be together again.
Guess it's just one of those things. Never mind. Paimon will behave herself and keep resting.
You legitimately do not have to behave yourself. You do whatever you want. If you want to wreck this place, you wreck this place. I'll pay for it.
If Odette is Lelik, she may well have inside information on Project Stuja.
Yes, Traveler.
Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. Now, she's dedicated herself to bringing it to an end. It would be
very, very cool to get some information out of this as well. Of course it would be.
It's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about the Tsaritsa's true intentions.
Yeah.
When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui, how much did she let on? And how much was she hiding?
Yeah, 100%. We could, like again, she could have valuable information.
Only time will tell. Maybe tomorrow, everything will be answered.
Hey look! It's snowing!
No way!
Could be a tough day ahead.
Aww.
Make sure you wrap up warm tomorrow.
Paimon, I wanted to be with us so badly. It's so brutal her not being around. It's so brutal. It's beautiful, isn't it? So pretty. The snow is so gorgeous. Whoa, that's the end of Act 1. Perfect setup, right? Absolutely perfect setup into the entirety of Snezhnaya so far. I think that this was a social, showing us the socials going on in this world, the political going on in the world, who's in power, what the debate is, what the arguments are with each other, what some people stand for, what some people don't, what some people feel about Project Souza. More information on Project Souza, the culture of the world in terms of like travel and phase and the buildings themselves. Like every single thing here, I feel like what they've done with this place is that they've really, to me, created a fantastic setup. And again, I want to make clear, whenever I say this, like the setup is like one of my favorite parts of the entire stories and game. You know, like when I watch a season of a TV show and like the first 20 minutes of like the first episode are like in the new season, right? It's like, okay, where is everyone at? I think I was talking about ER recently. One of my favorite things about season beginnings, like the start of a season, is that you get to like get reacquainted. Like, how is everyone doing? Okay, what is happening with the hospital right now? Okay, so this person's in charge now, this person's left. Okay, this person's at the desk now. And they set up everything, they set up the culture of the place, and by the end of the episode, you're like, okay, season 4 is going to be crazy, right? Season 4 is going to be really interesting. We have whole new dynamics and everything and stuff as well. And those episodes are so fun to watch, because it's not just about Seb, I want to make that clear. You get interesting dialogue, you get political stuff, you get great action like the stuff of the day, you get introductions to new characters. This is one of the most exciting times for me in any region, is let's see what the region is like. Let's see what these places are like. And then we can go into like Act 2 afterwards as well, which I'm so excited to do the other act as well. I'm taking my time with this stuff, because I know like for a fact that every other YouTuber has already uploaded Act 1 and 2. I know for a fact that I am well behind on everything. I know for a fact, but I don't play like that. I just can't. I feel like it's a losing battle as well, because I play other games. If I was only playing Genshin, it would be like, I think, legitimately way easier to get like every single episode out like on like the exact day on every act, because I just play it like, you know, over the course of like 4 days and have it out there like for you guys in one sitting, right? Of course. But I play other things, so it's not entirely possible. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not ever saying like to other people like, oh, they forced it out. No, like I feel like a lot of the people who like make full Genshin playthroughs, that like that's their thing, right? A lot of times, or at least that's their thing besides some other smaller things. It's one of the things where and also my videos are very long, because I talk about everything, I think. Let's go, because people keep walking through us here. Let's go to, what is this? Let's go to here. I love this place. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous, man. Seeing this with like the true colors as well, because it was already really pretty and vibrant, but now it's like so natural, which is really pretty.
Shall we have one now?
Talking about the snowball fight as well. It's so cool. So actually, we might as well do it from down here, because it's so gorgeous from down here as well, the ending discussion too. Yeah, I love this opening act. I love this so much. I think they did such a good job of like creating like such a... So you have to avoid this too, so we have to stand maybe right here, because we'll keep getting energy from that thing as well. Oh, I said I would check the banner at the end of Act 1. I feel like we've got introduced to so many characters now that I can't imagine that it'll be a spoiler now as well, will it, right? I can't imagine. Like, they introduced so many characters, I don't believe that there would be a spoiler. Well, yeah, I cannot. Like, they've introduced what? Mitsuya, Odette, Valerie, Alosha, so yeah, Vodanista, Odette, Mitsuya, Alosha, Valeria, Rooster, and Jester, right? They've introduced so many different new characters that, like, I don't think we can... Unless there's, like, I don't think there would be an Act 2 character introduced. I could chance it, or I could... I don't know if I'm feeling that, you know, lucky. And again, it's one of the things where you guys were like, Calvin, you used to check the banner. Yeah, but I'm becoming the more extreme with that thing where it's like, let's just check the banner after we've met all the characters. It's much more fun that way, for sure. So we can talk about it as well. Columbina looks amazing in the snow and stuff. Look at this. Oh my god. Sorry, Columbina. I'm so sorry. You gotta go into thinking pose. Look at her, man. Yeah. This looks actually absolutely incredible. Looks absolutely incredible. Yeah, so as I said, this was an amazing setup, and I feel like even this part of the that we went through as well, like a great introduction to some new characters as well, which I actually think was like really great too. I think there was a lot of like a lot of like political complications, but I think that's intentional. I think there's supposed to be like a little bit of like a, oh god, things are getting murkier now. Things are getting a lot harder to like understand everything that's happening, because I think that's what they want you to feel like. They want you to be in a position where it's like, oh man, this is getting a bit rough, right? And like, you know, the political going-ons of the strong arming, the conspiracy, the hitting information, all this stuff like feels very like, you know, murky. It feels very murky, honestly, as well. But we got some introductions to some great new characters here as well. Like we went to the opera house and we got to see Vodinista perform. And I said it already, but like it's such a beautiful thing to make you actually have a video game performance, feel like you're actually there in the audience, feel like you're actually feeling that performance and feeling the magic of that performance. It's gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous feeling. And it honestly is like one of those things where it's like, as I said, it can go very wrong. I don't care when it says, like, I think in video game stuff, they can do beautiful performances and it's really cool, but I've seen games before that like will have a performance and it feels very flat. It's like, okay, doesn't feel very real. They did this full-on performance, the stage show, the stage itself has such a presence to it, and it's a great way to introduce Vodinista as well, because like I feel like it's such a balance to her character, which is like, as we learn later, is very cute, very kind of like, she believes herself to be cute. She like wants kind of a bit of attention, you know what I mean? She's like fished for compliments, but again, she's a talented performer, an unbelievably talented performer. And also, she is a member of like the Rotok, one of the and I always call them a rebel group. I know that's probably not the best definition, but it is kind of like a rebel group. It's kind of like a dissenting group. And we also find out that Alosia is also a member of the Rotok. Probably the most important piece of information as well is that Odette was like talking about us nonstop. That's very cute. I love it so much. She was like, "Have you seen this guy?" But yeah, like really, really great introductions to characters here. Because we saw Vodinista. She's adorable. She has great animations. She has such like a sharp voice as well. And I think also as well, like there is like a like a great design to her as well, because again, as I said, she looked like she came right out of a fairy tale book, and I feel like when we found out she's a fae, and I'm not trying to say like all faes look like they're from fairy tales, but they do, right? In our world, in the real world, these would be fairy tale characters, but in this world, they are real people and real characters and real races, you know. And like, I love her design. I think the way that they use blue in this throughout the whole entire, not even just blue, but colder colors. They use colder colors like the mint green of Alosia's hair, the kind of like fainted purple of Mitya's hair. There's like colder, kind of paler colors when it comes to like hairstyles and like outfits sometimes, and it fits like the idea of the colder climate, right? It's a really, really cool thing as well, and I really love how it looks. I really love how she looks as well. She's a really, really cool character. But yeah, they described to us as well the Rotok and like some of the rules, I guess, there as well, and what they're trying to like, I guess, achieve as well. What happens to the Rotok? The idea that the Rotok doesn't it hides everyone's identity. It allows people to like, you know, do what they want. They can join and then choose to do nothing, which gives people like full on free and autonomy, right? And they have these rules set in place to protect each other's autonomy, but then Alosia and Vodinista were able to like find out of each other through like in interaction with a dog, Turagon as well also. But yeah, we got to learn about like the Rotok a little bit more, and we also got to learn like about like maybe like their motivations and the fact that like, you know, there's not a lot of pressure that goes into like being a part of the Rotok as well. It's pressure in terms of like, you know, you have a similar goal and you all have a singular goal of what you want as well. But also we learned that not everyone is also the same in that group too. So obviously everyone has their own different like ways of getting through that like point of like the opposition to Project Souza, right? We signed an application, we joined up, we are now a part of the Rotok. We have, or at least like our application is signed and like, you know, ready. But it makes sense that I feel like what's happening here with the Traveler, and we saw this later on with the Fatui, I feel like we're dipping our toes into like every single organization we can, which is like not a stupid idea. The fact that we have friends in the Fatui, the fact that we have friends within the Rotok and have joined the Rotok, the fact that we have like, you know, our toes in every single pool, the fact that we have our like, you know, fingers in every, you know, dish. Is that the phrase? Pies? What's it called? What's the phrase? We have our our cooks in the kitchen. We have our carrots in every pot. I don't you know what I'm trying to say. But it feels like that is a very like good method, even if it's like not totally intentional. But I feel like the Traveler is like, you know, leveraging his in a very honest way. I love that he's doing this too as well, because while he's supporting certain things and he obviously has a care for people and a love for people, he's not being dishonest at all about like the idea that like, yeah, he wants to gain information. And even like when we found out about Odette, we adore Odette, and Odette's very nice, and we had a great time with Odette. But it's also like, yeah, if Odette can help us with information, maybe Tartaglia can help us with information. These are our friends. These are people that we've gotten to know. Even Odette is someone who we're very friendly with as well. And it's like a really cool thing that they have us, to me, like, have the Traveler be honest about his motivations, because that's what a good character is, right? It's showcasing that he does care. He cares about the people here. He cares about what the Tsutsa is up to. He cares about Tartaglia. He cares about Sandrone. He now is going to grow to care about Odette. I genuinely believe that as well, 100%. There's no way he's not. And it's one of those things where, like, beyond that, he's being honest and saying, I need information. So yeah, dipping his toes into every pool makes sense. And it's not like he's doing it in a way of like, I'm going to be sneaking Fatui over here and Rotok over here. He's leveraging the people that have given him information, that are friends with him. And it's not like in a way that's like sinister. I'm making it sound like he's like going, oh yes, they're all falling into my plan. He's just like, no, I'm asking for information. He's being very direct about it. You know what I mean? I'm joining the Rotok so we can game for information and all this stuff as well, and like honestly get a foothold in like this into finding out about Project Stuza and finding out about even Lelek as well. And then with the Fatui, it's like, yeah, these are my friends. And he's openly said to them, like, you know, I want information. I want to find out about this stuff. I want to learn more about this stuff. And even Sandrone said, like, oh, there's no reason. You're not just here to enjoy this, are you? You're here for a reason. I like that they have him still being the usual Traveler who, like, cares about people, loves people, is friendly with people. It's great to be around. But they have a tension here where they're showing him, like, you know, trying to get this information by, like, you know, as I said, dipping his toes in every pool. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to showcase as well. Yeah, and this guy, is it Chuganov? Chuganov is the name of the guy. He is mistreating his workers. He's being awful to his workers. And this is a great thing to see the Rotok in action, because it's not just always about, like, you know, the stopping of Project Studio. It's also about, like, relief for people and making people more comfortable and caring about the people. And we see this here now with this guy, Chuganov, where he's, like, mistreating his employees. And the way that they want to step in for this is to slyly kind of report to Mitya about the wrongdoings of his company so they can shut down his company as well, or his factory as well. And again, it showcases again why there is like a, how do I say it? Like, again, as I said, they're not just out here just like, you know, it is about Project Stuza in the end. There is a Project Stuza element to this as well, where like they use this meeting with Mitya to also, while reporting Chuganov, it's also as well to gain some information on Project Stuza, but they also showcase that they are trying to, like, you know, make things life better for the people in this world. Energy consumption is also very unfair when there's people who are civilians who are getting like barely anything. I think Tartaglia said it was like, what, like 15%? Like, it is like a very like unfair thing, and we're seeing them in action here at the Rotok as well, which is really cool too. But yeah, a great introduction to Voronista. I think she's a really cool character with a really interesting style and a really like fairy tale style as well. But we also got to then have this whole thing with the restaurant stuff with Mitya, which is our introduction to another character, Mitya, who is like adorable again as well. But again, multi-layered character once again, where at first we think he's like very like, just because he speaks very naturally and he talks very naturally, but he's also very sweet and like he has this very cute vibe. His design is fantastic. I love the kind of like crazy wild hair while also still having like a kind of a style to it. The kind of atoms he wears on his outfit as well. The wild kind of like, it looks like, it's a really wild outfit with like the scarf and anything, with like that movable scarf, which I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't know if it's technological, I don't know if it's like Fae, I have no idea, but it's a really cool, like unique thing that makes him stand out almost instantly. But a very, very, very cute design as well. And the reason I say he's multi-layered is because in this conversation, we tried to get something out of him in terms of learning about Project Stuza, and he did like reveal some stuff to us about Project Stuza, like, right, in terms of like the using of, or trying to find a new energy source, trying to find a new way of like harnessing an energy source. And they were talking about that with the stellar linchpins as a way to harness that to find a new way of gaining energy too. But it seems like he wanted us to know about this. When he described this stuff and then almost described like the rest of Project Stuza, like his scarf choked him, which instantly made us realize, okay, he, not at that point, but afterwards when like he sent basically left a note behind, basically being very friendly, knowing that we were with Voidinista, showing that he was very aware of a lot of the stuff that was happening there in that moment, which again, that's the layers that adds to. We have this character who is very sweet, seems very oblivious. In a lot of ways, he seems very frantic, and he's like walking on eggshells around Voidinista, and some of that might be true, the walking eggshells for sure, because he doesn't want to upset her, but at the same time too, he knew way more than he was letting on. So he wanted us to learn about this. He wanted us to learn about the stellar linchpins. He wanted us to learn about like what Project Sousa was trying to do in terms of like creating a new energy. Like he wanted us to know a little bit as well, which means once again there's another mystery there. Why did Mitya want us to know this much? What is he leading us to? What does he want us to know about this? And that's what I think is like really interesting about that too, is that there is kind of like a factor here where once again we're in a place where we don't know the motivations of a character, but we are very interested to see where his allegiances lie, why he did a certain thing, what was his plan for this reasoning as well. You know, there's all these little things here that makes it feel like so fun and interesting to me. Mitya is already an adorable character, but the fact that he's like, he did all this in the slide, the fact that he knew more than he was letting on, it makes you want to learn more about him as well, for sure. And of course, the conversation with him, Voidinista, was really fun as well. I think they had a really good dynamic back and forth. It felt like Voidinista was like really like, again, she was really good at like steering the conversation, but then we figured out obviously very quickly that like, okay, like, and afterwards that like, okay, she wasn't really steering the conversation as much as she thinks she was steering the conversation. And it actually turned out to be him steering the conversation, or at least letting her steer the conversation to where she wanted it to go, and he was giving out as much information as he thought was the best to give out as well. But again, another great design, another great character here as well that we get to see too. Couldn't complain. And also is like his keeper, the guy who's always looking for him as well. Such a contrast to designs we've seen so far, because a lot of the designs we've seen have been very elegant, very like fanciful, very pretty or cute, but this like Valerihi guy has like a very like tired eyes. He's very serious, but again, the design is very cool. I love the kind of sharpness of the outfit, the bear on the shoulders. He means serious business. So again, it's good to have the contrast too, because while we have characters who are serious in this world, like, you know, the Rooster, and you would argue Sandrone can be very serious as well, the introduction of new characters has all been very varied and interesting too. We have someone who's very direct but adorable in appearance, like Alosha, who's also very caring and very friendly. Someone who like takes action when needed. You have the character of like, say, like Voidinista, who's very, you know, I would say like not high maintenance, but like she's very like she wants compliments. She wants people to look at her performance. She's very like, you know, hyper, and has like a really like, you know, sharp tone to her voice, and very cute as well. And then you also have like someone like Odette, who is very elegant and as we said, like kind of like very magical, and she feels so, I use the word fabulous. It's just so fabulous. So then to have like also a character like Mitya then to come in, who's like very hyper and frantic, and like he's running around the place, and he's like has this very like almost charismatic natural tone to him as well, which is very adorable too. To have a character like Valerie as well, who I feel like is so far on the other end, because like while I feel like you could say like all the characters so far haven't been cute, right? There's like 3 characters I believe who are absolutely adorable here in terms of like Mitya, Voidinista, and Alosha, but then there's also like the fabulous elegance of Odette, and then there's the very seriousness of Valeria. There's like such a difference here as well, but again, they all have different traits. Even the cute characters all have different personality traits, which is awesome as well. So awesome. But yeah, Mitya wanted us to deliberately to hear what he was talking about here as well. That's what he wanted as well. But it was like, then we went to like the court case, which to me was probably like one of the, or not the court case, the government buildings. And this to me was like actually like a really fantastic scene too. I think that they introduced the Rooster in a really great way. I think the Rooster was built up as someone who was like a very political, like staunch mastermind. And in this here, he kept like control of this place like very, very well. He was very serious about certain situations. He wouldn't let things go awry. He was very like calm and collected in a lot of places too. And I think what I loved about this as well is that, as I said, even though like I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I think this was great, or I think that I agree with that, we got to see the political going-ons once again of Snezhnaya, and we got to see it up close. We got to see the debates. We got to see like the snickering back and forth. We got to see people's opinions coming to light, and what people think about like the use of Project Sousa. We also got to learn about Project Sousa a lot more here too, which again, I feel like it's one of those things when I said like I was led to believe something different, I don't think it was one of those things. I think that's the whole point. I think the Traveler even thought that Project Sousa was like the whole main thing, but it seems that like, you know, the Traveler also thinks very rightly so there's something else to this too, which I agree also. This saying Project Sousa is just like an allocating method, it's like there has to be something else. The way they described Project Sousa was very secretive, you know? But yeah, we got to hear people's opinions on this stuff as well. Tartaglia coming from the very human side of being like, this is how much percentage we're getting at this point. The people can't hold on much longer. They're getting less and less resources every single time. Then you have someone like Pantalone who's coming from the perspective of a very monetary view, which is like, well, look, do you know how much this stuff costs? Do you know how much you're going to be able to pay for this? Like, do you know how much, what if a machine breaks? Do you know how much that costs as well? You have other people in the crowd giving information like, hey, we could use the regional data for this thing. And like, we could like study if like there's actually like, a benefit to like, slowing down of like, or changing drastically our plans. Okay, here we go. So we open up talking about how like the Rooster is saying that everything should be like, the status quo can be maintained. We don't have to worry too much about the idea of like changing things until next time around, because it seems that everything is indicating that they can continue the status quo. Because there's clear signs of the production of the usage of was it Kresnik? Why am I blanking on this as well? Crystal. Sorry, Kresnik was the other thing, yeah. And then we have Child standing up and saying, Snezhnaya's long tradition of treating members of TUI armed forces and their dependents favorably, but recent survey shows that TUI families in Rome areas have access to 50% less, Crystal. Okay, so sorry, I got this completely wrong here, and this is my bad, and I should have talked about this as well. What they're saying here is that Tartaglia is actually saying that like Fatui families actually have less Crystal now than the average civilian. Oh, I got that completely wrong. That's my bad, guys. That's my bad completely. I think I just thought like maybe it's like saying like the Fatui families have like more here as well, but no, that's not the case. That's my bad completely. And then it's said many times before, but bears repeating now, there's needs to be a clear and consistent rationale about how Crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash. Okay, so that's what they're saying here as well. The Fatui families have 50% less than regular families. I got that completely wrong. And of course, there's maybe just like, sometimes you misread stuff like that as well. And he's saying that Child's not saying that like the Fatui need to get more. He's saying that there needs to be a clear allocation, like a clear, like, okay, this is how much we're giving out, this is how much people will get, which I think is totally fair. And then we have Regator come back on the idea of like how it's not just about production and population. He's saying that like, what, like it costs money. Do you know how much like, this is actually going to cost? And it's interesting that Fatui families are getting less. And I wonder if it's because they are like, I wonder if it's because they think that they can like, they're more loyal maybe as well, possibly. And then Regator saying that it's like probably due to the idea of like, I think he says here, right, the anti-Project Sousa. He believes that's why they're talking about this as well. Yeah. And Chai says, I want to bring the focus back to specific issues I raised, or do you wish to deny the favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy? So this is interesting as well. He's saying that I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised, or do you wish to deny the favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy? So here he's saying that Fatui families in remote areas. So he's saying, so it's possible that Fatui families in like more city areas have more. So he's saying that it's our policy that Fatui dependents get more, which is, by the way, it's not great that Fatui dependents get more favorable treatment, but he's saying that like they're actually showing that Fatui families in more remote areas are getting less. So he's saying you're going against the policy of what's happening here as well. And he's saying there's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. And he says it's all to do with like the anti-Project Sousa stuff. He says you have no information on finding solutions to this problem. And Regator says, on the contrary, I'm the one who only brings solutions. Again, there's this like bickering back and forth, which I think is really, really good. It's a really fantastic thing. And when I said he has issues need addressing, I thought Tartaglia meant like about all civilians, but I do think it's also very interesting that Fatui dependents in remote areas are getting less as well. That's not good either. You don't want them to get less either, right? If you have to have a clear policy, and I agree with that as well. So I retroactively, obviously I meant something different with this agreement, but I now can stand up and say that I agree with that as well. Then we have, you two are getting off topic. And then Apropov says, Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe that's what Mr. Tartaglia also seeks. But if many have been misled by the topics, again, being misled about this stuff as well. The recent reports point to all Snezhnaya resilience and adaptability. So he's saying things are getting better, people are being more resilient. And he's saying that we should assess the risk. As we said before, you should assess the risk as well. And then we had, again, Tartaglia says, at least someone here wants to take discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data. And I think it would be easy to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think Snezhnaya would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Ms. Snezhnaya, but sadly she's not present. So he's saying that we should give this information to study more regional data about the allocation of the materials, and give the work to the Snezhnaya. And then Akavilia says that with their workload, they won't be able to probably give that much support there as well. The Rooster says, let's jump to conclusions. And then there's numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and reporting lines. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Following the usual procedure, it can be raised as a new motion for all parties to evaluate at an appropriate time. So again, it's one of those things with the political stuff, again, it takes so long to get anything even passed. But the idea that they have here as well is that they want to do studies based on local data and regional data to kind of like find out about the allocation of the crystal, allowing them to get a more detailed report of what's actually happening in terms of the distribution of crystal. Yeah, that would make sense as well. And then they're saying they actually will pass that, and that's something they actually do want to pass, but it might not be passed right away. And it seems like it's acceptable to all parties as well. Okay, that's the thing they're working on too. And then after that, we saw that there was like a vote on Project Souza. It only got 60% support, which means that 40% of people are against Project Souza, which they believe it has to do with Lelek, probably Odette, who is causing a bit of like a havoc in that situation as well, where she's trying to stop them from trying to stop Project Souza, because she is obviously possibly bitter about it, as we learned later about that too. But that means that there is less and less support over time for Project Souza. It's 40% now of people that are against it, which is a big deal. 40% means that it could easily get to 45. 45 can get to 50. It can happen. It can definitely happen. And then all of a sudden we're talking about like a 50-50 split here as well. That goes along there too. But yeah, what we learned here as well is that there is like Tartaglia is fighting for like, poorer families. Even if it wasn't like civilians, it's Fatui families who are not getting as much support as other families are, which is again fair. It's about being concise and clear. What are the allocations of our materials? What are we giving out to people? Having a clear view is important, because we even said that with the dead, understanding exactly what's happening is the most important thing, and people don't understand even what's happening sometimes as well. So I do think it is like a really it's a good thing to show Tartaglia standing up and kind of trying to want everything to be fair, while also having, someone like their greater, again, story-wise. I'm not saying I agree with it story-wise to be like, well, how much is that going to cost? Because that happens all the time in these like political discussions. How much that will cost? And then having like this idea of like doing a motion to like maybe study the regional data more. And then even after that as well, finding out about like the stuff with Odette is so interesting, because the idea that is that Alec is like strong-arming people and coercing people and being very bad. He's being a baddie. Or they're being a baddie, I should say. And they are, they even strong-armed the Chuganov into voting against Project Souza, which is a big deal. He's like someone who's like in a big corporate position, and people usually have corporate interests usually vote for the corporate side, which is the Fatui. Whether we look at it like it or not, it is the Fatui. So having that situation there shows that like maybe he was also strong-armed too. We learned about Lelek strong-arming. It is pretty terrifying, right? And the possibility that it could be Odette is another big deal as well about this too. Odette has a history with this stuff. She hates the Fatui. No, sorry, I'm not saying that as a full-on thing, right? We can't just say that's a certainty. But she has a reason to hate the Fatui. She has insider information about the Fatui. She has a way that no one would suspect her coming and going from places to place, because people respect her, people like her. No one's going to question why she's in a certain place. She's famous as well, so it's one of those things where people aren't going to be like, oh, there's Odette. Like, oh, like, what are you doing here? It's like she travels everywhere. She helps people. She's always in different places. And then also, we have the notion that, again, she was like forced to join the Fatui. She had problems with Rosaline. It seems like she would be like a candidate that could be someone who could be Lelek. And again, it's one of those things, I'm glad the Paimon said at the end, because we talked about judgment and people judging other people and like, what's proper judgment and all this stuff too. And I think it's 100% a thing where we have to hear out Odette, because while like we don't want people being like coerced and threatened and all this stuff as well, it's also a situation where like the Fatui is also admitted that they will, by any means necessary, smash out dissent if it gets too far. If it gets to a point where their Project Souza is getting voted against on a very high level, they will vote against it. But something we found out as well that I thought was, again, I thought was pretty crazy amongst all this stuff as well, was that Project Souza to them is an allocation method. And that's why like I was like so confused. I was like, wait, it's just an allocation method? And no matter what, even if they vote against it, the Tsarita is still going to continue to vote for... it's still going to have those resources, which means that there's some reason why Odette, if it is Odette, is against Project Souza. It can't just be this thing where it's like, oh, it's about like the allocation of resources. There has to be something deeper and darker going on. There has to be something different going on there. I think that's an important thing. Is like, why would like Odette, if it is Odette, be going against this if it was about the allocation of materials? Because like, again, if you stop the allocation of materials, like, you know, on the surface, it would mean that less people probably like, you know, will get less resources. But again, I don't think that, you know, even like when we say taking money from the factory, right? On the surface, again, that's a really good idea. But then are you talking about taking people's jobs away? Are you talking about taking people's livelihood away? Are all of a sudden people can't afford materials whatsoever? I'm not trying to be like, oh, pull a factory, pull a CEO of a factory. I'm talking about the people who work in a factory. You like probably take money from a factory. There's a chance a lot of them will close down. Take resources from a factory. Chances are a lot of them won't be able to work and operate as much. People lose their job. People get let go. So there has to be a reason why Odette is doing this. There has to be. Beyond, I know like it's like you can say it's revenge or it's like, you know, the bitterness that she feels or something as well. I'm talking about in terms of like, why would she stop Project Souza if it was just an allocation method? There has to be something else to this. And I love that Traveler brought this up. I love that like Paimon brought up like, you know, we have to be able to talk to her and see what she's talking about as well. I adore even like the Snezhnaya and Tartaglia were like, you know, having a nice tea chat with us about this stuff too, and like giving us information also. Like, again, I said, we're dipping our toes into all these different pools. It's a lot of like really interesting information going on here as well. But yeah, I love these scenes. I love the political stuff. I love seeing Tartaglia and Snezhnaya in their natural habitat here in Snezhnaya. I love how everything's getting very murky and kind of like confusing at times. I even adore seeing like having suspicion cast upon Odette about this stuff, because again, it adds another layer to her character. I love seeing Mitya. I think Mitya is such a like wild and like eccentric and intriguing character, you know, and again, even Vodyanista was such a fun character to be around too. Like, all these characters are so amazing to be around. They're so amazing to learn about. I want to learn more about them. I want to be around them. I think they're so funny and charming. And all of this has been just such a great setup. As I said, they set up the culture, whether it be the trains or the phase or the way that there's energy cost crisis going on as well. They set up the landscape and the regional stuff. They set up the political systems. They set up the social stuff. They set up the main city. They set up how expensive the main city is. They showed us the characters, amazing characters. They showed us the locations that we have in Snezhnaya. Like, everything has been set up like so culturally and beautifully. So now as we're going forward, we had this amazing setup with such great introductions, so much fun. And now we're going into Act 2, where everything's probably going to get even more serious as well, I bet, as well. I'm very excited for this stuff, guys. I am very excited for this. It's going to be very interesting. And okay, let's check the banner as well. Let's check the banner. And it's Odette. Yeah, it is Odette. Okay, great. We have like a lot of materials. We have a lot of material. I don't want our history. Wait, should we check our history? Because I'll get Odette right now. She's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. What? You're going to Microsoft Edge? No, thanks. Okay, I won't check my history then. Why are we going to Microsoft Edge? We're gonna get 4-star anyway. Okay. I don't want to, because like, did we not? Okay, I'll take a look at Constellation. Sugar's Constellation. But that means we'll also get more wishes, right? If we go to the shop. Yeah. Well, not, it's 2. And we get also some star glitter as well. We can also do some more wishes here as well. I don't know how much I have like saved up here. It might not be like, again, I don't think it's enough for Odette, but like, I'm going to check my history maybe on like the other account here, because like, I don't know why it was taking me to Microsoft Edge. Let's go to the shop. We don't have enough for this, but we might have enough for 2 of these. Yeah. Let's just see if we can get anything else. I don't know what my history's at. I really don't know what it's at, guys. I don't know what it's at whatsoever. Again, we can keep wishing as we're going forward as well. I wouldn't mind Odette. Odette is amazing. Odette is an amazing character. Like, she has such a cool moveset and she's such a cool design. She's very cool. What's in the mail? Okay. Oh, it's attachments. Okay. Yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I know it's like one of those things where like I think that like I want to hear what you guys think, because like it definitely is for me very fun, because I really do love like kind of like conversational stuff, and I love like, you know, setup stuff, and I love learning about the culture of a world and learning about how these places operate. Like, that's a really fun thing for me. And I actually like really appreciate like when we get to do stuff like this, because like it means that we have like to get to ease into a world rather than like, you know, going too crazy into it. Again, we had some great moments like this stuff with like, and some big moments, right? in terms of like the moment with Odette and all this stuff too. But this was intentionally, to me, setting up the world so beautifully and such an amazing way that I had such a great time for this entire act. And then we have Act 2 coming up as well, which I'm so excited for. I'm so excited for. Yeah. I do want to hear what you guys think, because I think I can predict there's going to be people that are going to be like, man, like, this was 4 hours of talking. Which, again, if that's your take, that's your opinion, that's fine. But I actually love the discussions. I love the character moments. I love the political discussions. I love all this stuff. So I was very, very excited about this stuff too. Very, very excited. But I want to say thank you so much for watching this. Thanks so much for supporting these series all the time, guys. It means the world to me. And if you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever's in your currency. Every single Genshin video in Snezhnaya and beyond will be early, and every single video on the channel will be early on YouTube members and Patreon for the lowest tier. And if you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that is the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier, and you get your name in every single video, not just on Genshin, but that's the €10 tier. And yeah, every single video you get your name in the credits. And if you want to hear your name be shouted out at the end of every single video, that is the Never Can Repay the Baby Gangsta tier on YouTube members and Patreon, the highest tier at €15. And you get to hear your name in every single video, not just Genshin. And I want to say thank you to the patrons first of the highest tier, that being Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Idizuma, Delicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axler21, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, Lusanagi, and Zay. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.